So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Luis and Elena Ramirez claim their son was hospitalized during a sleepover at the defendant's home because their dog triggered the child's asthma. Bernard and Rashawn Barkley say the plaintiffs didn't stress the severity of their son's condition.
All right. Mr. and Mrs. Ramirez, you are suing the defendants for $12,248. You say that there was a lack of supervision during a sleepover. What brings you to court today?
Yes, Your Honor. So my son, Eli, attended Sean's 11th birthday sleepover, and we clearly specified instructions upon dropping him off about his severe asthma medical condition with instructions, especially because they have a dog. And unfortunately, you know, due to negligence, we ended up with nearly $12,500 in medical bills, and he has now medical loss, amongst other things. Had to be out for a week. Yeah.
I'm very sorry to hear that. So talk to me about the relationship with the defendant family. Are these classmate friends or friends of your son?
Yes, Your Honor. So my son is friends with the Barkley's son, Sean. And they go to the same school, they're classmates, good friends, and one day my son came home with an invitation for his 11th birthday party, which happened to be a sleepover, and so I was concerned and hesitant because of my son's asthma condition. We've never, you know, really allowed our son to any sleepover as of yet. And
is that because of the asthma or just in general caution?
I would say a little bit of both,
okay.
But especially the asthma because, you know, it's under someone's intimate space and we're not really supervising full time. So after bringing this to my husband's attention, to Luis, he, you know, was also concerned, but he also gave me that reassurance, well, you know, I don't want to be that mom that's overprotective and refraining my son Eli from his autonomy and experiences with friends. So we decided, okay, we'll let him go, but I'm going to provide clear instructions to Rashawn Barkley, you know, upon dropping my son off.
And what were those instructions?
Yeah, so upon dropping my son off, I provided Rashawn with an inhaler, and I mentioned, you know, in the case that, you know, my son is having trouble breathing, that, you know, the proper thing to do is to provide the inhaler. And although we do have a nebulizer at home, I didn't find it necessary because that's really in the case of emergency.
Yes.
And especially because she kept providing me the reassurance that it's, you know, the kids are going to be fed, the kids are going to be supervised, they're going to be taken care of, and the dog is going to be kept away, because I did bring up their German Shepherd.
Okay.
And the German Shepherd has dander, which could cause an severe allergic reaction to my son.
Okay, and so you knew, though, that they had this German Shepherd.
I did.
But let me get to you, Mrs. Barkley. You knew there was a lot of skepticism and some trepidation on the part of Mr. and Ms. Ramirez when it came to letting their son Eli spend the night, it sounds like really anywhere, but attend the sleepover for your son Sean.
Correct.
Okay. And what were your assurances that you made to help ensure that their son could attend?
Yeah, she seemed very worried about letting him sleep out. And I can understand that as a mother. Of course, we want to make sure our child is safe.
Yes.
But she also knew I had a German Shepherd. I let her know that the German Shepherd would be outside the whole time that the kids would be there. In fact, I did a deep clean of the house, made sure we vacuumed, you know, did the drapes, just really made sure that there wasn't a lot of pet dander around.
Sure.
And the dog was out of the house during the cleaning process as well as when the kids were there.
Okay.
And also I had an air humidifier in there as well, just to kind of help.
Yep.
So other than that, that's really the steps that we've taken.
Okay. She told you about the inhaler.
Yeah, she let me know that she was bringing an inhaler, but she also didn't really stress the severity of his asthma.
Not at all.
So I'm like,
What are you saying about it, Mr. Barkley?
She didn't stress the severity of it.
You
To be honest, I mean, just be honest.
you
Is
weren't
that
even there when I dropped my son off. It was just Miss Barkley. So I don't
She
know why.
whispered to her, like, he sometimes, has
But
this
were you
wheezing.
there, sir, or is that what your wife told you?
Well, I was there, but I just wasn't in the room at that particular
yeah,
time.
he was in the house. He wasn't
He was in the
directly
house.
next to us,
Yes.
but he was
Okay.
in earshot.
He was in
Yes.
earshot.
And she literally just says he has a little wheezing, and then she handed me the inhaler. So I figured,
That's
okay.
totally not true. I mean, I was so worried. That's why you went to the extent to clean your house. You gave me the reassurance. You kept your dog
Well,
out.
I'm having a party. I'm going to clean the house.
Okay, well, Ms. Ramirez, I don't think anybody's questioning whether or not you were actually worried. The court is concerned with whether or not what exactly you conveyed to the Barkleys.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
We are genuinely sorry that this happened. However, I don't feel like I'm responsible at all. Neither one of us should be responsible for this hospital bill. We weren't the cause of this.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. Closed captioning provided by This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Luis and Elena Ramirez, who brought Bernard and Rashawn Barkley to court over hospital costs.
Let me ask Sean a few questions. Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so your friend Eli, you wanted him to come spend the night for your party, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you know that Eli has sometimes a hard time breathing?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You've seen him use his inhaler? No?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. At
Yeah.
school, sometimes when you're playing?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about what y'all did that night for your party.
So we was doing all kinds of stuff like doing TikTok dances, playing Roblox and Fortnite.
Okay.
And then our mom and dad came and checked on me.
Okay.
And then they told us it's time to go to bed. And
So they were
then,
checking on you. Mom and dad were
like,
checking on you and your friends?
3 times
Okay.
if we okay.
Okay. Good.
And then everybody was asleep except for Diamond, my friend.
Who was
He
that? You say Diamond? You had a friend named Diamond? Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
And he was
So does Elijah. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Diamond was 10 years old. He was like tiptoeing. And then he was like opening the door. And then he went upstairs. He seen a chewy.
A what, baby?
A chewy.
What's a chewy?
A chewy is like that dogs love to bite on.
Oh, like a chew toy for your
Yeah.
doggy. Oh, and then what happened?
And then Diamond like threw the chewy outside. And then he like came downstairs, went to sleep. And then the dog came in.
Oh,
And
the
then-
dog came inside because Diamond left the door open.
Good old guy.
And then
Okay.
And then Eli, he was just like coughing like real hard. That
When
my
the dog
face-
came in? Did you get scared?
And then I ran to my mom.
Okay. And what did you do at that point, Miss Barkley?
Yeah, the time around that time was about 3 a.m.
Okay.
So at that point, the last time I checked on them was about 12, which
Okay.
was like lights out in the house.
Yes.
So I was unaware that Diamond is tiptoeing in my house, or that he opened the door and let the dog in. So yeah, around that time he came up around 3, and he
Yeah.
was just like, "Mom," like.
Sean came up and he was
Yeah,
frantic.
yeah, he was frantic because
Because his friend couldn't breathe.
he couldn't breathe.
Yeah, so you called 911?
So I'm in a panic. I tap Bernard, of course, wake up.
Okay.
We go downstairs to check on him, and he's just having a hard time breathing. So we grab the inhaler, but
Yep.
the inhaler didn't seem to be working.
Yep.
So at that point, we called his mom immediately, and of course, she was frantic on the phone, which I would.
Well, anybody, I
be
would have been
too.
frantic too. I would have been
Yeah.
like, what you calling me
Yeah.
for? Call 911.
Yeah, so we called her just to let her know what was going on.
Fine.
She let us know that she was going to call the paramedics. We called
Okay.
the paramedics too, just to
And so
make
then you went
sure.
over to their house. Oh, you
Yeah.
went straight to the hospital. What happened?
So yeah, we immediately, when we got the call, I woke my husband up and we drove straight there. But at the same time, I did call paramedics just because we're a little bit of a ways out.
Yeah.
And so upon arriving, the ambulance was there, paramedics were there. My son looked terrified, shallow breathing.
Yes, very
he had
scary.
a mask. And then I see the dog like still kind of on the loose, you know, as this is happening. So I knew like that was a part of, you know,
The problem.
The problem, yes.
So then your son goes to the hospital?
Yes, so my son was hospitalized for about a week
Okay.
because of that incident.
Yep.
He had to be out of school for a month.
Oh my God.
Yes, Your Honor, and we even have
Go
the
ahead
email.
and give the evidence folder to my bailiff. Give the whole folder, please. Thank you. The whole folder?
There's no folder.
Oh, there's no folder. Okay. I'll take the documents. Thank you. Okay, let me take a look here. Gosh, let's start off with seeing Eli here in the hospital. That is just scary. I'm also looking at a medical bill here that is, you know, enough to change your life. I'm looking at this medical bill, 7-day night hospital stay, ER visit, intensive asthma treatment, 24/7 supervision, total of $12,248. And that is the amount you're suing to recover from the Barclays, I see.
Yes, Your Honor.
I am looking at an email. This is about Eli's school attendance, I believe. Eli's in the hospital right now with severe asthma. He's doing okay, but the doctor is recommending he stay out of school as he recovers. He's having some difficulty with memory and alertness due to the asthmatic reaction, rather, and it's recommended that he stay out of school a month. Thank you for letting us know. Wow, that is all a lot. Anything you have to say about that? Ms. Barkley, I'll start with you.
We're terribly sorry that this is happening. Like, no mother wants to see their child go through this. And we are genuinely sorry that this happened. However, I don't feel like I'm responsible at all. Neither one of us should be responsible for this hospital bill. We weren't the cause of this. Yes, it happened while your child was with us, but literally we did not let the dog in. And I just don't feel like we should be responsible for this.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
Diamond's out of order. Diamond goes to open the door. That allows the dog to then come into the basement where the kids are.
We don't know that the dog came into the basement. The dog was definitely in the house, but we don't know for sure that the dog was anywhere near her child.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Luis and Elena Ramirez, who brought Bernard and Rashawn Barkley to court over hospital costs.
Do you have something to say, Mr. Barkley?
It's like having a game of t-ball at your house, and you know, one of the kids ends up hitting the ball and it hits the other kid in the head. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna now
You say it's
sue.
the nature of the activity.
Yeah.
That risk is an inherent part of, in your example, the t-ball game. In this example, the nature of kids being kids at
Yeah.
sleepovers.
We didn't realize that anybody would go opening up our door, you know, and there really isn't a way to stop that
No,
from happening.
that's blameful.
either.
What do you say, Ms. Ramirez?
Yeah, it just doesn't add up because it's they're, at the end of the day, they're the homeowners. They're responsible for supervising the children. They knew about my son's condition.
Yes.
And it's very heartbreaking. I mean, even when we showed up with the paramedics there, the dog had a squeaky toy. It was a squeaky, chewy toy in his mouth.
Yeah.
So how does that kind of shuffling and noise, the door, the toy, the squeaking, the dog coming in, how could that not wake you up, like, even in that moment?
First
sounds
off,
kind
it
of-
wasn't a squeaky toy that he went and picked up in the first place. This was a squeaky toy he had after us when we're dealing and helping out your son.
Right, I understand. But back to when Sean was telling me the story, it sounds like Diamond opened, was out of order, really.
Yeah.
Right. Sean's like, absolutely. Diamond's out of order. Diamond goes to open the door. That allows the dog to then come into the basement where the kids are.
We don't know that the dog came into the basement. The dog was definitely in the house, but we don't know for sure that the dog was anywhere near her child.
Okay. Well, what we do know is the dog came in the house, and
Yes.
you had told the court, ma'am, that the dog was not supposed to be coming in the house.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
How is Eli doing today, ma'am?
It's a very slow recovery because of the long-term impact of cognitive issues and memory loss. So it's really heartbreaking that, and I'm very upset because this could have been prevented. Ultimately, you know, children are children and they were responsible for that.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Luis and Elena Ramirez, who brought Bernard and Rashawn Barkley to court over hospital costs.
I think I've heard enough here, and this is very sad. How is Eli doing today, ma'am?
It's a very slow recovery because of the long-term impact of cognitive issues and memory loss. So it's really heartbreaking that, and I'm very upset because this could have been prevented. Ultimately, you know, children are children and they were responsible for that.
You're probably not gonna like what I have to say, Ms. Ramirez, but I want you to know that I am saying it from a place of love and compassion, but also accountability, okay? And I'm saying this mother to mother, so it's not that I think that you need to be held to some standard of perfection, because no mother, no father is perfect. However, what I am hearing is that your son is in a particularly fragile medical condition, okay? This level of asthma supersedes kind of basic everyday asthma to the point where nebulizers and things of this nature are used, okay? It sounds like you had full awareness of it. It sounds like you gave some awareness to the Barclays, but I'm not gonna be able to hold this couple accountable for ensuring that absolutely zero risk of harm comes to your son. And that's really what you're saying your expectation sounds like it was. They did make every reasonable effort to keep the dog outside. I can't hold them accountable, ma'am, for the bad acts, if you will, of a child, because he's a child. And actually, Mr. Barkley was making some compelling arguments with children will be children, within reason. And I find that everything young Sean told me, and thank you for your testimony, young Sean, sounds like a reasonable evening of young men, young boys rather, enjoying themselves at a sleepover and getting into a little bit of mischief.
Judge Eboni's verdict when Equal Justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
Unfortunately for you all, your son Eli is in what we call like an eggshell situation, particularly fragile. And you're right, Ms. Ramirez, this could have been avoided. But the best way for it to have been avoided is for you to make a very hard decision and say, we would love, Eli, for you to be able to go to this sleepover, but you are different than your friends in that your breathing and your health require more supervision. So you can go and play with them, have a good time with them, enjoy Sean's party, but you're gonna have to come home with us in the evening so we can take care of you, because your care is the most important thing. And it is you as Mr. and Mrs. Ramirez who are best positioned to ensure the high level of care, medical care, that your son needs, okay? I wish you the very best, but the plaintiff's case is dismissed.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendants. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I would like us to get back to where we were before. I mean, me and him used to hang out in, you know, balconies, smoke a little, you know.
We still believe that, you know, they are at least partly responsible for this.
Okay, follow me.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what Equal Justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Michelle Harvin claims her wedding dress was ruined before the ceremony because the defendant set off the sprinkler system. Cheryl Weathers says she accidentally put the dress on a sprinkler head because Miss Harvin yelled at her to hang it up.
I see I've got, is it Michelle Harvin here
Yes,
as
Your
my
Honor.
plaintiff? Yes, ma'am. And Cheryl Weathers as my defendant.
Yes.
I see Miss Harvin is suing the defendant for $3,000 alleging property damage. Tell me exactly what brings you to court, ma'am.
Your Honor, I brought Cheryl here today because she absolutely ruined my wedding day. Cheryl was referred to me by a friend to do hair and makeup. So I reached out to her and contracted her to do hair and makeup for me and my bridesmaids.
Okay. How many bridesmaids did you have, ma'am?
3.
Okay, so yourself, 3 bridesmaids. She was going to do 4 faces.
Yes.
And here.
Oh, hair and makeup.
Hair and makeup, yes.
Okay, and
Your
you
Honor.
do both, because you know most people can't really do both that well.
I don't typically
That would
do
be her,
both.
Your
I
Honor.
don't,
Okay, hold
I don't
on, hold on
typically
a
do
minute.
both, but she was on a budget. She asked me
Okay.
to do it all for her budget. She wanted to stay within a certain budget. A friend recommended her, so I did my best to
Uh-huh. What
help
was
her
the
save
budget,
money.
ma'am?
Altogether was $2,000.
$2,000. Okay. Let's get back to your presentation, Ms. Hart. First of all, did you end up getting married?
I did end up getting married.
Okay. So
I
how's it
did.
going?
It's going wonderful.
Great. Okay.
In spite of what happened that day, it's going great.
I was just going to say.
The way she was acting, I'm surprised.
All right. Hold on, Ms. Weathers. Here's the thing. We're going to get to this claim because it's why we're in court today. But we all want to just make sure that we all acknowledge the most important thing about the day is the marriage. Yes?
Yes.
You're saying that this defendant, who was the hair and makeup artist for the day,
Yes.
you contracted her for her services, and ultimately she caused separate property damage?
Correct.
What did she damage, ma'am?
She damaged my wedding dress. I took Cheryl up to my childhood bedroom, which had an adjoining bathroom. I walked in, once I walked her in, I said, this is where you can set up your makeup, your tools, and whatnot.
So this is your childhood home?
This is my childhood home in Carlsbad.
Okay, and where was the wedding itself taking place?
In the backyard.
Oh,
It
so this
sits
is
on the
it's at
hills.
home?
Yes.
Okay, so this
very
is a
nice
small,
location. Small,
very
intimate
nice
wedding.
Got it. Location. Everything was being done on site. So hair and
Yes.
makeup is being done on site, and the nuptials are being done on site.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's why the wedding gown was on site.
Yes, Your Honor.
In this same space.
Yes.
Okay, so then how does this woman end up even contacting the wedding dress?
The wedding dress is in the space. This is where my bridesmaids, they're gonna have their makeup done. We're gonna have a great time. She's setting up there. When I walk by, I see my wedding dress just slung across a chair. I say, Cheryl, my dress can't just be here on the chair like that. Can you please hang it up? She says, okay. She takes my dress and hangs it on the sprinkler system. Before you know it, now my bridesmaids have come in, they're getting their hair and makeup done, and water just begins to flood the
From the
entire
ceiling?
place. From the ceiling.
Oh, my
Where
goodness.
she activated the water sprinkler by hanging my dress there.
Okay, let me stop you. Miss Weathers, tell me it's not so.
It ain't exactly so.
Okay, okay. Tell me from your perspective.
When I got there bright and early, I was on time to do everybody. I had a lot to do, so I wanted to come there
Yes.
first thing in the morning. It was a hot mess. No one knew where I was supposed to go. I was sitting around waiting. The bridesmaids weren't ready. So I was trying to figure out where I'm supposed to set up. I have
Right.
a
Yeah.
kit. I got to set out everything, make
Sure.
sure. They take me up to that room. It's so tiny. It's her childhood room. It's a child's room.
Okay.
And then I'm setting up everything. She walks by and she starts going off. Why is the dress here? The dress shouldn't be here.
So let me ask you this, because I think a lot of us want to know the answer to this. Why was your gown just laying about even before her arrival?
That's what we don't know, Your Honor, because it wasn't laying about. When I originally took her to the room, the house, first of all, let me say, we're not going to disrespect my mom and dad's house. It wasn't in disarray. We had
There
the
was
caterers there.
boxes.
They're right, because we're having a
Ladies,
wedding.
Okay. Let's get back to the dress. I knew that was going to go down like that. As soon as she said that little house, it was bad. Okay.
Didn't look like a wedding was
Okay,
going
ma'am.
down.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. All right. So you're saying, because this is very important to the case, where do you last recall seeing your wedding gown before her arrival?
Hanging up
Hanging up where, ma'am?
in the room.
What does that mean? In a closet?
On the seal. There was a seal where you could hang it up at. On the window seal.
Oh, on the window sill.
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying that you had a $3,000 wedding gown on a hanger on a windowsill. Okay, did you think that was the most stable place for it to be?
Coming up on Equal Justice.
I don't want to add to that.
Fair.
So I wanted
you're
to-
trying to be helpful.
Trying to be helpful.
You acknowledge that hanging the dress was out of your work scope.
Yeah.
But you did it anyways to
Well,
help
she yelled
the day.
at me.
And later,
So y'all's sons are similar age.
Yes.
So they're technically first cousins, but they kind of more like brothers.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, hope they're getting along better than you two seem to be getting along.
Definitely.
Definitely.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Michelle Harvin, who brought Cheryl Weathers to court for ruining her wedding dress.
You last saw your gown on a hanger above a windowsill.
Correct.
You are saying that you never saw such a thing, that when you came into the childhood room, that the dress was already on the bed.
Yeah, but I also wasn't even looking for the dress. Like, I was straight there I do hair and makeup.
I understand that, ma'am. I understand.
Not tailoring.
That you're not tailoring and you're not
None of that.
wardrobe
The
and
dress-
stylist. Yes, I understand.
The dress, I only knew the dress was there when she came in yelling, saying, why is the dress on the bed?
So she
That
yells
was it.
at you to hang the dress up. You what? Because you didn't have to hang the dress up.
I wanted to be helpful. I
Okay.
did. And I do weddings. I've been doing this for 10 years.
Yes.
The day is supposed to be calm, serene.
But
so
the truth is, but no, ladies, let's knock it off. The truth is, it rarely is calm and serene.
No, of course, but
right.
when, as a professional, I come in, I don't want to add to that.
Fair.
So I wanted
you're
to-
trying to be helpful.
Trying to be helpful.
You acknowledge that hanging the dress was out of your work scope.
Yeah.
But you did it anyways
Clearly.
to
Well,
help
she yelled
the day.
at me.
Well, I know, but that is still a choice, is what
Yes,
I'm making.
yes.
You made a choice.
Yes, I did.
Okay, and where did you hang the dress, ma'am?
I seen what looked like a hook coming out the ceiling, and I clipped it. I just was like, here, this is the highest I can get it.
So you know why everybody's laughing behind you, right?
I can't see.
Oh, that's convenient. Okay.
Clearly.
Right.
Your Honor,
Wait, well,
she
hold
can't
on,
see.
ma'am. I got it. So you don't know what a water sprinkler system looks like?
I do, but I haven't necessarily ever seen one in a house or that it would be.
But this
an
is
issue.
California. We're talking about this is happening, and therefore we sadly know the wildfires are common.
Understood.
So that is statutorily mandated that these homes have these preventative measures in place.
I'm from Connecticut.
So you're
originally.
not familiar with it?
Yeah,
okay,
no,
so
I'm
you
not.
didn't.
I have a picture of it,
Okay,
Your Honor.
Elijah, yeah, let's get some photos.
Yes.
Get the whole
It
folder,
looked like a
ma'am.
relic. It looked like it was
Okay,
part of the
ma'am,
house.
hold on now. Let us take in the evidence, please. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Whew, it's gonna be one of them days. Okay. This is your beautiful gown, lovely dress. It's a beautiful ivory lace dress, okay? Do you have an invoice for your services, ma'am?
Because I felt so bad, I was rattled. And, you know, I will admit, I was rattled when she was yelling and saying, put up the dress. So I may have made a mistake in putting it in the wrong place. But as soon as things happened, I immediately told her, don't worry about it, you don't have to pay me.
So you felt bad?
I felt bad.
Okay.
I mean, it's still her wedding day.
Right.
And I wanted her to feel a little better and, you know, I already knew the budget was an issue for her, just in general. So I wanted to do what I felt in my heart was the right thing to do.
Okay. How do you proceed?
I immediately go and get my father to turn off the whole system,
Right.
to turn the water off and figure out what was going on. Because now my dress is ruined and it's sitting there and it begins, I don't know if we could see those rust stains that were coming.
it's
The
ruined.
I cannot wear this.
Of
Thank
course.
God I had a second dress that
Oh.
I had ready for my reception.
Ah, okay.
But it's not the same.
Of
This
course,
is
it's not
the
the ceremony dress, ma'am.
Right.
I understand. But
But
you,
I had to move forward.
Right.
I can't sit here and go back and forth with her
Right.
about her negligence and it's my wedding day.
Okay. And you still feel bad for
I do.
this occurrence?
I do, and
but
I did
you don't
everybody's
feel...
makeup in here, still got everything done.
Okay, so your bridesmaids and everything still got their hair and makeup done?
Barely, Your Honor.
What you
yes.
mean barely?
I mean, because the tension now, I don't know
But
if
how
you
did it
deliberately
look?
did-
How did it look,
It was
ma'am?
decent.
Okay.
It served its purpose.
Decent like your faces be right
No,
now?
I did this today, Your Honor.
Okay,
Amen.
okay. But you couldn't
court.
muster the skills to do it for your own wedding day.
No, because I had a lot of other things going on,
I
Your
understand.
Honor.
But I think what I'm trying to allude to in all seriousness, ma'am, is that she did execute what she was actually there to do at a high level. You would give her that. She did the hair and makeup she said she was gonna do, and it looked nice, and she did not charge you for it. Is that correct?
She did not charge me for it.
but you're not gonna give her the "it look nice" piece.
You said high level, and I just want to tell the truth because I've been sworn in.
Nasty.
Okay.
Nasty.
Okay. Okay. Y'all are a trip. Do you have any evidence for me, ma'am?
No,
Okay.
I don't need any.
Oh, okay. Well, we're just gonna go on your testimony. Okay. Now the question becomes, is she and she alone solely responsible for the cost of your $3,000 wedding gown? I'm gonna hold you contributorily responsible for the ultimate damages that occurred that day. But similarly, Miss Bridezilla herself, you have to bear some of this contributory responsibility as well, because ultimately, it's your wedding gown. This court finds that the defendant is contributorily negligent as to the willful ignorance of what you were doing and the damage it would cause to this young lady's wedding gown. But ma'am, you also bore the ultimate responsibility. Once you saw that your dress had slipped off and fell on the bed, if I were you, and I think a reasonable bride, would have made it their business to make sure that that dress was properly hung and secured and not pass that responsibility off. The court rules in favor of the plaintiff, but not for $3,000. I'm gonna rule in favor of the plaintiff 50-50%. $1,500 for the plaintiff. That is my ruling.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $1,500.
I don't know if that's necessarily fair. I mean, it was always about money with her.
God is good all the time, and all the time God is good.
Judge has made a ruling. Please follow me.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
You indicate that you offered $750 just for the care.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what happened to that?
I feel like I started having second thoughts about that, Your Honor, because I've been taking care of our family for the longest. Every time I've been taking care of our family, he's nowhere to be found.
This is Equal Justice. Marcus Payne claims his younger brother hired him to care for his son, but refused to pay him and reimburse him for the boy's soccer fees. Sidney Latimore says he simply changed his mind about paying his brother.
See, I've got Marcus Payne here for my plaintiff, Sidney Latimore, as my defendant. Mr. Payne, you're suing Mr. Latimore for $1,360. What brings you to court today, sir?
I've been on leave for a minute, so while I was on leave, the defendant here, he needed child care for his son. He gave me $500 to watch his son for 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks was up, he said, oh, I gotta go back to work. I gotta be off for another 2 weeks. So I said, okay, how much you think you're gonna pay? He talked about $750 more, which adds up, plus the other expenses, to $1,360. But when my nephew came home from school one day, he said he had to pay for soccer registration.
Okay.
So that $500 was washed out.
Okay, Mr. Payne, so you said nephew.
Yes.
So this is your brother?
Yes, my younger brother, who's a spoiled...
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
You got something you want to express and get off your chest about it?
I mean...
Yeah. What you want to say?
Yeah.
If I want to say, I would say for almost 26 years, but it's built up. But that's a whole nother story.
Okay, all right.
But
okay.
yes, he owed me $1,360. That's all I can say.
Okay. You said leave. What do you do for a living, sir?
I drive trucks.
You're a truck driver?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Lucky for you, Mr. Latimore, because you were able to take advantage, your brother happened to have a gap in his work schedule that allowed you to be able to go. And what is it that you do for a living?
I'm an IT game designer, Your Honor.
Okay. Allowed you to go and pursue your work travel.
Yes, ma'am.
So that worked out nice. Now, do you have children?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have a 7-year-old son.
Okay, so y'all's sons are similar age.
Yes.
So they're technically first cousins, but they kind of more like brothers.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, hope they're getting along better than you two soon to be getting along.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
Keep it right there. Yep, okay, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Payne got a lot of energy. He got this energy. Maybe it's the suit. I don't know. Okay.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Marcus Payne, who's suing his brother, Sidney Latimore, for reimbursement of funds.
Sounds like the first 2 weeks, there's no discrepancy. You were paid $500.
Well, there was a discrepancy because his son's registration that he should have known about came up.
Now, did you know that this soccer expense was upcoming, sir?
My son's soccer fees are usually annually. It's not twice a year, so I don't know why, but...
Mr. Payne, hold on now. I got to get these facts out. Now go ahead.
I don't understand why the coach wouldn't just call me about this stuff right here instead of him having to pay that $500 out of pocket when I've already paid something this year.
Yes, sir, Mr. Payne.
Your Honor, There's a text message showing that after I received the information from the coach, that I hit him up and said, hey, this $500 needs to come about.
Please give that to, keep it right there. Yep, okay, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Payne got a lot of energy. He got this energy. Maybe it's the suit. I don't know. Okay.
Man,
Got a lot of excitable.
Need to get him a suit.
Okay. All right, so this is the text message. All right, y'all. This is the text message Mr. Payne's referencing. Sydney, your son just notified me that he has to register with soccer and the fee was $500. Now, I assume his payment is imminent.
Yes, indeed, Your Honor.
There was no payment plan.
No payment.
Okay.
Not even.
You
not one
say
penny.
about your son's imminent soccer fee. Can you take care of it? And we'll talk about it when I get back. You said I will make sure we talk about it.
Yes.
Meaning I'm not gonna forget.
It's
It's understood, and what it said is understood.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Now let's talk about the second 2 weeks, because I heard you indicate that you offered $750 just for the care.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what happened to that?
I feel like I started having second thoughts about that, Your Honor, because I've been taking care of our family for the longest. Every time I've been taking care of our family, he's nowhere to be found.
Judge Eboni's verdict when Equal Justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
I don't know. I got to tell you, Mr. Latimore, this one seems pretty simple to me. Your brother has done an outstanding job of caring for your son in your absence while you do what it seems like is very good and important work and earn a high income so you can be there for not only your son, but also your family. Mr. Payne, sounds like you've been a stand-up older brother. And even in this time in y'all's life, as petty as y'all's little silly back and forth is, y'all love each other. And you're there for your nephew. And you're going to be there for his son if he needs you, right?
Yes, I will, Your Honor.
I know you will, but everybody got to pay what they owe. So this court finds in favor of the plaintiff, Mr. Payne. I do believe he paid $500 for the soccer, and I believe that you said, see, that's called a voluntold lie, where you volunteered to pay $750, and then you decided to unilaterally change your mind. You don't get to do that. I'm going to make you be a man of your word. You said you're going to pay $750 for weeks 3 and 4. You're going to pay $750 for weeks 3 and 4. That's a grand total of $1,360 for the plaintiff. I rule in favor of the plaintiff for the full demand. That's my ruling.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $1,360.
You still ain't changed, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You still ain't changed.
Okay. Any final thoughts, sir?
Accountability.
Okay. You've had your day in court. Please grab your belongings. Follow me.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Raymond McDonald claims his ex-employee took advantage of his referral program by only recommending people who quit. Andrew Stefin says all his referrals left after the trial period was over.
Okay, I see I've got Raymond McDonald here as my plaintiff, Andrew Stefin here as my defendant, and I see, Mr. McDonald, you've got a witness with you in the form of Dexter Walker. Mr. McDonald, why are we in court today?
I'm here to sue Mr. Stefin for fraud. Simply put, he took advantage of a program that I implemented in my company to incentivize referrals to people that come in, good qualified people to come in and work with us, because my company's growing. And I thought it would be a great win-win opportunity, but it's simply put for fraud.
For fraud. Okay, to the tune of $1,000. Tell me about your company, Mr. McDonald.
4-year-old company, started off small, been growing rapidly. We've got new contracts coming in from the government. And so I had to create an opportunity for my employees to bring in people and be incentivized for it.
Now, tell me a bit about what type of employees you hire to do the work to grow your company.
Specifically, the referral program was for bookkeepers.
Bookkeepers?
Yes.
That's what I was getting to.
He had been working there for 9 months.
Okay, and what
when
kind
he
of
left.
just employee, before we get to the fraud allegation, how was he as an employee, Mr. Stefin here?
He was great.
Okay.
I saw a lot of potential in him, quite frankly.
Okay, so no complaints. So he was a
No
good
complaints.
employee for a good amount of time. And then tell me about, you decide you want to double your employee base, and so
Yes.
you offer this incentive program. What was the incentive?
Simple. It was really sort of based a little bit on an honor system. I asked everyone to send me people they knew were going to be qualified and would be interested in this profession. And all they had to do was stay for 30 days for the onboarding and the initial training,
Yep.
which is a certification program.
Great.
So it's a great opportunity for someone new to come in.
Sure.
And
what
then
would the referred person, what would they get?
They would get $250 for every referral.
For every single referral. That sounds
Yes.
pretty good to me. Okay, and ultimately, how many potential employees did Mr. Stefin refer to you?
He referred a total of 5.
5.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm doing the math. That's pretty good.
This is really good. He was the best at it. We were excited to see all these.
So that was like a
referrals.
record.
They all checked fine. They all said the right things. They did the right things, and they all looked good on paper.
So where'd it go wrong, Mr. McDonald?
It went wrong in that we had noticed that they were all leaving at the 30-day onboarding point.
Oh.
Disappearing.
I think we all know that one. Okay.
That's wrong.
Okay, so they would stay just long enough to get him his $250 per referral, and then on day 31, sayonara.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was a pattern we saw. Yeah.
And when did you pick up on it, sir?
I didn't actually pick up on it. It was picked up by someone in HR and asked me if I think something might be funny about it. I didn't really want to see it with him because
Ain't that sweet?
felt like he had potential, but it occurred to me that my best policy is to just bring someone into my office. I have an open door policy.
Yeah. Talk to me about what evidence you brought for the court to consider today.
I have
Go ahead and hand everything to my bailiff, sir.
Okay, here. I have the original program, a list of the referrals that he sent to us.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing this. This is a notice from your office.
Yes.
And it's saying that it's going to implement this employee referral program where everybody's encouraged to send someone to your accounting firm, and you'll get $250 stipend for each new hire that stays, and here's the key, for 30 days. I see the form here, and then I see his referral list here of 5. Only 1 looks to still be active.
Yes.
And that's you? Okay,
Yes,
I'll
Your
hear
Honor.
from you in a second, Mr. Walker. Let me let you get in here, Mr. Stefin. What do you have to say for yourself?
I think these claims are baseless. I don't believe that I am in the wrong here at all. I refer these people in good faith. I thought they would be good, qualified individuals for the company. Yes, I thought they would stay maybe for the long haul, but at least that initial 30 days and get the training done so you can at least take that and use it elsewhere if need be. So yes, I did make the 5 referrals and I thought they would be good fits.
Okay, so let's break this down. So this is just a coincidence, Mr. Stefin, that all 5 except for 1 literally quit on the very first eligible day for you to keep your $250 each?
Coming up on Equal Justice.
He said, I don't like what you're accusing me of. And he started getting angry, and he stood up and he quit.
I did resign and exited the office in a very violent manner.
You say violent?
And later,
You guys had a custom of night before reminders? Is that true, Ms. Jensen?
Sometimes, yes. Most of the time.
Most of the time?
Yeah.
You did not adhere to this in this case. Why?
this is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Raymond McDonald, who brought Andrew Stefin to court over bogus employee referrals.
Did you have an enjoyable work experience prior to making these referrals?
Yes, there are good things about the company, but I personally did not enjoy my time there. I was told that there could be possible advancement to management, and I never received any word or notion of this after my hiring. I thought I was making good leeway and progress, and I guess that feeling was not mutual.
I guess the court's curious, Mr. Stefin, if you were so dissatisfied and you were looking for new employment, why would you make a good faith referral to other people to go to a company you're trying to leave?
I thought I could help out a couple of people I met at this social business event.
Now, you said something in your opening statement, Mr. Stefin, that puzzles the court. You said that you thought the people could stay for at least the 30 days and get some training. Now, do you think that's in the best interest of this man who's running a business, who's trying to live the American dream? You think he's just out here training folks to leave? You can't think that, Mr. Stefin, right?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, let me get to Mr. Walker here. He is the witness for the plaintiff. Go ahead and approach, sir. Okay, now what do you have to tell the court today, Mr. Walker?
Well, Your Honor, I'm here as a witness for Mr. McDonald. I was one of Andrew's referrals to the company.
I see you here on the list. You
Yep,
were
that's me.
one of 5, and you are the only one still active. So let me ask you this, Mr. Walker. So you get onto the training. What was that experience like for you, the first 30 days?
The first 30 days, smooth. He was very helpful in my training. Just like he said on the get-go, he said he'd help walk me through everything I need to make it to that 30 days.
Okay, great. So you stayed the full 30 days, and how long have you been with the company so far?
Now about a year and a half.
Oh, wow. So this is a real, true long-term hire, Mr. McDonald.
Pretty good referral, if I say so myself.
Hey, Mr. Stefin, let me do the talking in this courtroom. I was going to say, you have to be satisfied with that particular referral, correct? That's paid off in dividends.
I am completely satisfied with this referral. Yes, thank you very much for this referral.
Okay.
This is the only referral that didn't cost me so much money in training and the time that could have been devoted to other people that actually wanted the job and said we're coached to stay 30 days so you could...
Well, let's talk about, that's an allegation there, Mr. McDonald. Let's talk about this coaching. Where would you get an idea like that this man would be so nefarious, your former employee, that you said was doing pretty good for his entire tenure? Why would you think he would be so nefarious as to scheme and come up with such a nasty ploy to fraud you?
Look, it started off with me looking into his eyes and asking him point blank, are you doing this?
And this is after HR brings this to your attention?
He brought it to my attention, so I thought, let's bring Mr. Stefin in the office and let's just talk to him and let's see what's going on here. Well, first of all, he was completely offended. He overreacted.
Well, I would have been offended too. You know, you basically.
I didn't ask him. I didn't.
Mr. Stefin, you got one more time.
All I did is put it.
Mr. McDonald, it's one thing to go from a pattern to you're a scammer. You understand how that's offensive.
I didn't go right there.
Okay, so where'd you go first?
First I went to, this is what's going on. What's happening with your referrals?
And he said?
And I just wanted to see what his answer was,
okay,
point
hold on,
blank.
Mr. McDonald. Mr. Stefin, what did you say?
I said I know my referrals don't have the best history of tracking within the company and doing well, but I think that they can improve if I keep getting this opportunity to refer people.
He said, I don't like what you're accusing me of. And he pointed his finger at me, and he started huffing and puffing and getting angry, and he stood up and he quit.
Is that how it went down, Mr. Stefin?
I did resign and exited the office in a very violent manner, yes.
Because you say violent?
Violent as in slamming the door shut.
Oh, okay,
yes.
let's okay.
That's one thing where, Your Honor, I'm sorry,
on that.
we're not, the door stays open. It's a simple thing.
Did you know that he had quit? The guy that referred you?
Yes, almost directly after he quit, Mr. McDonald came to me, and I thought he was going to fire me because I was one of Andrew's referrals.
Okay.
But he asked me if I was going to leave.
Right, and you said?
I said no, I enjoyed my time at the company, I'm enjoying being there, and his reaction was actually initially skeptical.
Were you coached by this man, Mr. Stefin, to we're going to run this scam, run this hustle, and then you're going to dip out? Was that kind of coaching done to you?
Not in so many words, no, but he did. We met online through a video call several times before my interview with Mr. McDonald, and he helped me build my resume before I submitted, and also walked me through the interview questions.
Do you believe you were on the receiving end of any coaching or persuasion, let's use that word, by this man, Mr. Stefin, to leave this role that you said you enjoyed after your 30 days were up?
No. He insisted, saying that I should just stay on for the training, and if I didn't like that, then I could move on after that.
Okay. Okay. I think the court's heard enough here. I'm ready to rule on this, gentlemen. Mr. McDonald, you know, you're doing commendable work. You had a good idea. You said you want to expand the workforce of your budgeting enterprise. So this man goes and he gets you 5 recruits. 5 people come, 1 of 5 stays. This looks like an excellent employee. Would you agree, Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Okay. The court's deciding that you have got your money's worth, sir. I see no fraud here. I don't see any compelling evidence that Mr. Stefin did anything other than execute good faith, solid referrals to you. Some work out, some don't. I think you did pretty well, sir. The court rules in favor of the defendant, and I dismiss the case of the plaintiff. That's my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
Any final words for each other?
You know what you did. I think she found it to be right.
You had great potential.
Never saw that potential coming from you.
Gentlemen, please follow me.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
What is this DMV?
So that was another issue. Unfortunately, my car was towed also because my registration was past due.
Oh, so that's why you were towed.
Yes, technically.
Okay, technically. Technically, that's an important word, right? Okay, technically.
This is Equal Justice. Natalie Jensen claims her car got towed because her roommate never moved it when she was out of town. Jessica George says if Miss Jensen didn't want her car towed, she should have paid her registration.
Ms. Jensen, I'll start with you. Why are we in court today?
So, Your Honor, I am here because I'm suing my ex-roommate because she failed to move my car before street cleaning happened while I was out of town. And in a result of that, I incurred ticketing and towing fees, which I believe she should pay for.
Okay, and what's the amount that you incurred?
It's $638.40.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I have the
you're
text
reading
here.
from the text.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
go ahead and give that to my bailiff,
Sure.
ma'am.
I actually take everything.
Oh, yeah,
care of it.
absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let's look at this evidence for the court here. I see some text messages, okay. What is this for, ma'am? What is this DMV?
So that was another issue. Unfortunately, my car was towed also because my registration was past due.
Oh, so that's why you were towed?
Yes, technically.
Okay, technically. Technically, that's an important word, right? Okay, technically. Let's get to you, Miss George. You are asked to move her car. She's got to go out of town last minute. You have no problem with this, right?
Yeah, no problem. But
To ask.
I mean, typically, and we've done this for each other before.
Okay,
The
so
thing
she's
is-
done this for you as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Great.
But we would always do it the night before. So this was a Thursday. She needed me to move her car. She did not text me Wednesday. She texted me on Monday. I mean, it was an honest mistake. She's busy. I'm also busy. I work freelance. My schedule changes every day. I work nights sometimes. There's a Thursday and there's Wednesday across the street. I can't move it anywhere.
But
So-
could you have also maybe asked me to send you a reminder just the day before too, just because you knew I was going through so much?
That's how we always did it. So why would I ask you?
So wait,
anyway?
let me stop you, Miss George. Are you saying that you guys had a custom of night before reminders? Is that true, Miss Jensen?
Sometimes, yes. Most of the time.
Most of the time?
Yeah.
And you did not adhere to this in this case. Why?
Coming up on Equal Justice.
Having a motor vehicle is a privilege. And with it comes what? I'm gonna let you fill in the blank.
Responsibility.
That's it.
This is Equal Justice with Judge Eboni. Equal Justice is back with the case of Natalie Jensen, who blames Jessica George for getting her car towed.
Your car would have gotten a ticket because she failed to move it per her agreement. But it wouldn't have been towed but for the fact that you weren't legally registered. Is that right? Having a motor vehicle is a privilege. And with it comes what? I'm gonna let you fill in the blank.
Responsibility.
That's it. Responsibility.
Sure.
You cannot consider yourself a driver in the state of California or elsewhere unless your business is in order, Miss Jensen. Let's just say the court does find Miss George negligent on her agreement. That still does not equivocate your failed responsibility on why your car wasn't just ticketed because she failed to move it. Your car was towed because you were riding dirty, Miss Jensen. So we can't connect the dots in a way that don't make sense. You were already in the wrong in terms of your fiscal responsibility to your motor vehicle, ma'am. Miss George, you did agree, per this text exchange that I'm looking at, to move her car. You did ask for a reminder, but for one fact, I would say you should have been specific in when you wanted the reminder, because she did give you a reminder. But when you tell this court, Miss George, that you two had a customary relationship where those reminders came the night before, that sounds reasonable to me. That sounds like when a reminder should come. And while I hear you, Miss Jensen, that you were busy, so you kind of punted, right? You kind of, I'm gonna give you the reminder 3 days out because I don't trust my own self to be able to be responsible, there's that word again, to send you a timely reminder that's actually gonna make sure that you're able to do the favor that I've asked of you.
Judge Eboni's verdict when equal justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
But I think what the plaintiff is asking of you in this particular circumstance is overbroad and is frankly too much. You cannot have this woman, ma'am, be responsible for your failure to keep your paperwork in order, thus really leading to, as you said in your opening statement to me, technically the reason that your car was impounded in the first place and the reason you incurred these $638.46 expenses. So in order for me to find her liable for your failure to keep your stuff tight, I would have to find that this woman is more responsible for your motor vehicle than you are. And this court simply cannot find that. There is no breach of contract, no breach of obligation. Ms. Plaintiff, your case is completely dismissed. That's my ruling.
All rise. Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
I think the judge made the right decision. I mean, she was completely on point. It wasn't my responsibility.
I just think it's unfortunate that the judge decided against my case because you promised me to move my car, and I feel like I couldn't trust you, and I don't feel like I should have to pay for those fees.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Sarah Wilcox claims she was crossing the street to go to a meeting when a cyclist mowed her down. John Balus says Ms. Wilcox should have used the crosswalk, but instead she darted out between cars.
I see I've got Sarah Wilcox here as my plaintiff, John Balus as my defendant. Ms. Wilcox, why are we in court today?
Hi, Judge.
Hi.
We are in court here today because I am suing the defendant for personal injury due to him crashing into me with his bicycle. I am suing for medical coverage being $1,586.67.
Indeed. Now, were you in a car as well, or were you walking, or were you on a bike?
I was walking, Your Honor.
Oh, wow. So you were a pedestrian. This gentleman's on a bicycle. He crashes into you.
Yes.
Now, why is he responsible for your medical damages, ma'am?
I believe he wasn't exerting the proper safety protocols while being a motorist on the road, and that's what caused him to hit me.
You jaywalked.
Okay, hold on, sir. We are going to get to you, but we're not going to do it that way. Okay, ma'am, so tell me a little bit about how you got to collide with this gentleman in the first place. You get up, you're taking a walk, what happens?
So I work at an advertising company out in downtown LA.
Okay.
And I was supposed to have a meeting that day at 6, and I got called saying it got pushed an hour earlier, so now it's at 5, and I take public transportation, so I don't have a car at the moment, so I really had to rush. And my bus, sometimes it'll come late, sometimes it comes early, so I was like, I really need to be at my bus stop so I can make this bus because I have to go to this meeting.
Sure.
And so how the street was, and I actually have a picture of
Your
the
photos?
street.
Okay, yes. Please give that to my bailiff, ma'am. Thank you. You can give him all of your evidence. Thank you. Yeah, so I would want to visualize this, yes. Okay, so I'm looking here at this crosswalk. Continue.
So I'm on the far right of the street where the blue car is.
Yes.
I'm crossing from that street. I'm trying to cross to the other side because over here is where the bus stop is.
Got it.
So before that, I was making my way to the middle divider. I looked both ways There was no oncoming traffic. I didn't see anybody coming.
So you exercise due caution?
Yes.
Okay, you get to where the little lady is?
Yes, I get to where the middle divider of this street is.
Yes.
And then again, I look again. It's not shown in this picture, but there were a couple cars parked there. And so I had to safely look in between the cars just to see if there's anybody coming. I looked to my right, looked to my left, saw nobody, so I started walking, and then all of a sudden I felt a pain in the side, the right side of my body. I was on the ground. I look up, I see Mr. Balkus standing above me with his bicycle, and it just hit me that, okay, I just got hit by a bike.
So you didn't even see him coming?
I did not see him coming at all.
Wow. Amazing. Now I also see I've got, oh my gosh, some injuries here.
Yes.
This looks like some very severe bruising. What is this, your leg and arm?
This is the right side of my leg.
Oh, that's both of that's your leg.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That is nasty. Okay, and I'm also seeing the medical coverage here. Got an ER visit, x-ray, of course, physical exam. We see some narcotics, all tuning to $1,558.75. So I assume that there was no insurance coverage, ma'am?
No, I went to the emergency room and it was far from out of my network.
Okay, so there's no coverage. Okay, and then I'm also seeing this is your parking?
This is a rideshare. Because what happened was I was able to make it to my meeting after the incident. So I was talking to Mr. Balkus. We did exchange information as we were waiting for the cops to come.
So you two did exchange information?
Yes, we did exchange.
I offered my number.
Okay. All right, let me go ahead and get to you, young man, since you want to talk so much. Okay. Let's get to, when did you see this young lady was actually walking as a pedestrian crossing the street?
I saw her upon impact.
So you did not see her at all?
I did not see her at all because she was in between two vehicles and she just darted out in front, like ran right in front of me.
And she's shaking her head no. One could ask, Madam Plaintiff here, what about the crosswalk? Why not cross in the crosswalk?
Like I said earlier, the crosswalks are pretty far in this area. That's why a lot of people, not just myself, a lot of people, we just tend to cross the street when we had to get to places because one crosswalk is about a quarter of a mile away. That can take about 5 to 8 minutes for the average human just to walk that way and then cross the street and walk the same direction. And the other one was about half a mile away, which again takes about 8 to 10 minutes for the average human just to walk. And I had to get to the exact opposite, so that would have been an extra about 20 minutes for me just to get to the bus stop that was right across from my street.
Okay, but you do realize, ma'am, in saying all of this, you are admitting to jaywalking?
Yes.
Because that is what jaywalking is, when you cross outside the crosswalk.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
Yes,
she already said, too, that she didn't see me until the impact happened.
I heard her say, sir, yeah, I understand. I can read, I can hear, and I got all of that from the plaintiff. Thank you, sir.
And later.
First of all, Ms. James, did you post this in the community chat?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. Okay, so I want to just ask you a first question, which is what was suspicious looking about Mr. Bobby Taylor here?
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Sarah Wilcox, who blames John Balkus for injuring her with his bicycle.
Okay, sir, so she is conceding that point, but there is still some level of expectation for you as being on this bicycle to look both ways and make sure that there, because there are going to be people. This is LA, we know that. People do jaywalk as much as they should not, let's be clear, but they do it, and we don't want people just getting hurt, right?
Yeah. This is a one-time occurrence. I do deliveries on that bike for work, and I've never had an incident like this. And
Were you doing a delivery at this time? This is a food delivery?
This was me on the way home from doing deliveries for 5 hours. So I was also exhausted, so there's no way I was speeding on this bike either because I was doing deliveries on this bike for the past 5 hours.
That's possible. It's also possible that you were speeding because you were so tired and ready to get home.
I was out of breath.
Okay.
I have asthma.
Okay, so you're saying that you were at a slow pace. And has anything like this ever happened to you, sir? Have you ever hit anybody in your life?
Never, not even off the clock on my bike.
Okay, so you're contending that this woman came out of nowhere, you didn't see her, and that there was absolutely nothing you could do?
Absolutely nothing. I had no time to react.
So you were concerned, you both agreed to call the police, but you leave, ma'am, before the cops can come, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so you took it upon yourself to offer her your phone number?
Yeah, because she said she had to go to a meeting, and I was like, just to make sure you're okay, because I don't know, this all happened so fast, and we only had like 10 minutes there, so I was just like, here's my phone number, let me know if anything.
Okay, and did you hear from her?
I did a week later.
What did she say?
She said she went to the hospital and then that she had deep muscle contusions and that she wanted me to be responsible for the medical payment.
And did you take her at her word? Did you believe that she was seriously hurt?
I wasn't sure because it was a week after the fact. I felt like that was pretty long after for her to just randomly call me. Like,
would that have made a difference, sir? Mr. Balus, would it have made a difference if she had called you 24 hours later?
Yeah, because then I could have like been for sure like, yeah, those bruises were from me, but who knows? Like that could have been something else. Like, is there any proof that those pictures are from me from that day? Is there dates on those pictures?
Okay, so now we're playing investigator. Okay. Before I make my ruling, sir, she's asking you to pay $1,586. So that is both her expenses from the medical and also her ride share to get to the hospital. Your final argument as to why you shouldn't pay a dime.
Because according to I have evidence here.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
okay, well, that's a good time to bring it up.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give that to my bailiff, sir. Thank you.
Folder, please.
Thank you. The top one.
He says the top.
Top, okay. Yes, sir.
So according to the Comparative Negligence Act in California.
Oh, he's an investigator and a lawyer. Okay, this is amazing. Go ahead, sir.
If a pedestrian is crossing in between two vehicles that are parked, they may be at fault for any injuries sustained whenever they get hit. Because
I think I might have seen something like this in law school.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said I highlighted the part
I see where you've highlighted it, sir. Yeah, so you paralegal, legal assistant, okay. But for the court's consideration, he does point out that, for example, if a jaywalker darts out between two parked vehicles without looking before a driver has a chance to react, a jury may decide that the jaywalker is liable for the incident. That's what he wants the court to be aware of. Yes,
she already said, too, that she didn't see me until the impact happened.
I heard her say, sir, yeah, I understand. I can read, I can hear, and I got all of that from the plaintiff. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, any final last words before I make my ruling?
I understand that as a jaywalker, I was committing like a fracture.
Infraction, yes.
Yes, an infraction. And I do admit that, and I do accept partial responsibility for the incident. But that doesn't mean like I'm responsible for the entirety. I'm the one who got hit. I'm the one who got injured. I'm the one who had to go to the emergency room.
Yeah. Okay, listen, the court's heard enough here, and I'm prepared to rule. Here is the thing. You have accepted some responsibility, Ms. Wilcox, and I'm glad to hear it, because you were in the wrong, as you say. You know, at the onset, the minute that you failed to cross in a designated crosswalk in the state of California, you have committed a traffic infraction known as jaywalking. You own that. Good. The problem here is that thus your injuries were at least proximately caused by your failure to adhere to the traffic laws of this state. Now, let's bring in this gentleman. He's on a bicycle. The court was able to see pretty clearly what the dilemma was with you two, and the court could see how neither of you saw one another. And the issue here is you mentioned something about a bike lane, and let's say we manipulate these circumstances. Let's say there was a bike lane, and let's say that this gentleman was riding his bike outside of that bike lane, then you would be correct. Then that would be what we would say is a contributory negligence situation, where you're in the wrong for jaywalking and he's in the wrong for being outside of his bike lane. But the court doesn't see evidence of that, ma'am. So far, the court has to say, but for some other offering of proof that you have not provided today, this man was doing everything according to the letter of California traffic law. He was riding his bike. We can't say at an unreasonable pace. He didn't see you until impact. I don't think he was operating in bad faith, because if he was, I don't think he would have given you his phone number to ever contact him again. And so therefore, I hate these injuries. I hate that you suffered. I hate that you barely made it to your work meeting and all of this. But these are all the consequences, ma'am, of your choice, of your unfortunate choice to step outside of the traffic regulations of this state. Thus, the court must find in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed. That's my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
It's affected my work. I've been taking less deliveries because I'm afraid that like an incident like this could ever happen again. I'm just glad that justice was served today.
I'm glad that he feels that he's got his justice today.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
What was so suspicious? I got to ask you directly, ma'am. Is it the color of his skin? Was he suspicious because he's a black man?
No.
Okay. Okay. I don't like to beat around the bush here, Ms. James. So you say no, we're going to move on.
This is Equal Justice. Bobby Taylor claims his reputation was tarnished after his neighbor implied on social media that he was a porch pirate. Kendra James says none of her packages went missing until she saw Mr. Taylor lurking in her yard.
I see I've got Bobby Taylor here as my plaintiff. Yes, sir. And Kendra James as my defendant. Mr. Taylor, I see you are suing Miss James for $500. Tell me why we're in court, sir.
We're in court, Your Honor, because Miss James decided to kick dirt on my name and drag my name through the mud, insinuating that I stole a package off of her porch.
Go ahead and give your evidence, sir, to my bailiff, please.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So
You can
this
give
is
him the full folder.
whole entire folder? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. So that there, Your Honor, shows how the defendant threw dirt on my name. And
So this is like one of these community chats
Yes.
that y'all were
Yes.
all, everybody in the community is to be in contact with one another
Yes, ma'am.
through this social media.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is from Kendra James, that's the defendant here. Warning to all in the neighborhood. Oh Lord, this morning I spotted a very suspicious looking Mr. Bobby Taylor lurking around my front yard. Before you go on, let me get to Miss James here. First of all, Miss James, did you post this in the community chat, ma'am?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. Okay, so I want to just ask you a first question, which is what was suspicious looking about Mr. Bobby Taylor here?
Well, I didn't actually see what he was doing. All I know, he was in my yard near the porch. I had a package delivered. I've never had any packages missing in 20 years. I always order from Wayfair or Amazon.
You sound like my mother, ma'am. Go
After
ahead.
he left, when I went out to retrieve my package, it was gone.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
I'm giving you a little leeway because you are a woman of a particular age in my courtroom and I was taught to respect my elders. Don't roll your eyes. I mean, if you don't want no respect, I can throw it out the window now.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Bobby Taylor, who brought Kendra James to court for spreading rumors that he's a package thief.
Again, what was so suspicious? I got to ask you directly, ma'am, is it the color of his skin? Was he suspicious because he's a black man?
No.
Okay. Okay. I don't like to beat around the bush here, Miss James. So you say no, we're going to move on. But do know that is
definitely not.
Okay, Miss James, and I'm giving you a little leeway because you are a woman of a particular age in my courtroom, and I was taught to respect my elders. Don't roll your eyes. I mean, if you don't want no respect, I can throw it out the window now. No. Okay.
The age thing.
Here's the thing, Miss James. When you don't have the specifics and you put this kind of innuendo out into the universe, you cannot unring this bell. Now, you are suing her, sir, for $500. What is this money about?
So, as I said, I do handyman work around the neighborhood. A lot of times, people will pay me, and I would even donate the funds that was given to me for the work back to the community. I would never charge anybody, overcharge them a lot of money. I would more or less find out what they can afford.
So is this $500, this particular job?
I average of $500 a month if it was a good month, more or less. And now I'm not getting anything nowhere near that.
And you're saying that since she put this in the community chat, no one will touch you?
Most people won't.
Yeah, because they think you're a package dealer.
Yeah, they treat me kind of differently now.
Okay. Do you have any types of surveillance cameras around your home?
No, I don't.
Okay, because that's something you know that you need to invest in,
That
right,
would have
Ms.
been
James?
great.
And how do you feel hearing that, Ms. James, that because of your innuendo, as you admit that you made, without any substantial proof, this man is now having a different lived experience?
I feel bad. Maybe I rushed to judgment.
I think you did. I think you did, Ms. James, and I appreciate you even suggesting that you did, and the mere suggestion means you know you did. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to do something that I think might make it better for everybody involved. I want you to look at Mr. Taylor and offer that man an apology because you rushed to judgment. It was premature and it lacked evidence.
Judge Eboni's verdict when Equal Justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
I'm sorry. I did rush to judgment. It had nothing to do with color at all.
I understand. Thank you.
Just so you know. I just didn't know what you were doing, and it just looked pretty suspicious. That's all.
Okay. And you said, I think I heard it, I accept?
I accept.
Okay. Now, if only America, really, could be a little bit more like this courtroom. Amen?
Amen.
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 Okay, here's what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad that there was an apology and an acceptance. As it relates to your claim, though, Mr. Taylor, I do believe that there has been an impact, but I can't, with good conscience, I don't think it's equitable to wholly hold Ms. James liable for it because she's only one half of a decision to hire you. So I do believe that she contributed to a negative consideration, But I think you need to talk to your neighbors too, because if all it took was one person in a group chat saying, I think I might have saw, I might have, Ida, then I think these people are questionable in the first place.
The fact that she apologized to the public, I think will help that out.
I think so too. So therefore, I am going to dismiss the plaintiff's claim, but I do think some justice was reached today. That's my ruling.
All rise. Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is dismissed.
Any final thoughts for each other? If you give me a call, I will take you to pick out some cameras and I'll help you install them.
Thank you. I'll pay you.
Judge Day in court, please follow me. Ladies first.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Carrie Cutter claims a party guest intentionally threw broken glass into her pool after finding out they were seeing the same man. Bailey Jones says she had no reason to be jealous, so Miss Cutter needs to stop lying.
See, we've got Carrie Cutter here as my plaintiff today, and Bailey Jones.
Yes, Your Honor.
My defendant. All right, Miss Cutter, what are we in court today for?
I am here today because this woman, who I graciously invited into my home, purposefully shattered glass into my pool, and she needs to pay for the damage.
Okay, so you're demanding $1,985?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and what that expense covers is?
It covers draining the pool, vacuuming all of the glass out of the bottom of the pool, replacing the filtration system because glass got into the filter, and then refilling the pool, and labor.
Okay, so this is a pool that's on your personal property?
Yes, it is in my backyard.
Okay, and who is Miss Jones to you? How do you know this woman?
So, Miss Jones is an acquaintance of mine. The pool party was about 6 months ago. I had maybe met her once or twice leading up to the party. A friend of a friend.
Got it. Okay,
And-
so she's invited as a friend of a friend to your home
Yes.
to partake in this pool party. And then what happens?
Well, what happened was about 30 minutes into her being at my house, she comes up to me to tell me that she had shattered a glass into my pool. There were no glasses out for the party guests.
What was the reason for that?
Well, come to find out, later on, I heard from one of our mutual friends that she was jealous because we were seeing the same guy.
That's absolutely not true.
No, that is true.
All right, Ms. Jones, we're going to get to you in a minute. Okay, so you're telling the court that she intentionally shattered glass in your home swimming pool to cause you inconvenience.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, what do you say about that, Ms. Jones?
I say that her story is as crazy as she is.
Ooh, okay. Tell the court your side then, Ms. Jones.
I was invited by my former friend Stacy, who has obviously stabbed me in the back, to one of her many parties. She hosts so many gatherings because she needs the validation from all of her friends.
Oh wow.
And I decided to go because
hot take. Okay.
Free food, free drinks, why not?
Okay.
I get there and all there are paper plates, paper cups, like we're at a 4-year-old's birthday party.
Well, okay, so you're saying paper cups, paper plates like you're at a 4-year-old's party. Ms. Jones, you do acknowledge that when you are an outdoor venue, there are some safety concerns when it comes to glass, right?
Absolutely, and if there had been enough paper plates and paper cups to go around, I would have never needed the glass in the first place.
You could have come to me and you could have...
Ms. Cutter. Go ahead, Ms. Jones.
I asked around because there was nothing for me to eat off of or drink out of, and somebody
And that's
directed
important
me.
because you came to the party to eat and drink for free, as you've told the court.
Absolutely,
Okay,
no
go.
other reason. You've met her.
Yeah.
So I asked around, and somebody said that if I went to the cabinet in the kitchen, I could find a glass for my cocktail.
Okay.
I brought the glass outside. I had everyone gathered around me, as I always do at parties, because I happen to be authentic and funny, unlike some people. And somebody bumped into me. I accidentally dropped the glass. I immediately went to tell her. Does that sound like something that somebody who did that on purpose would do?
The court hasn't decided that part yet. But okay, so you immediately, upon realizing you've dropped this glass into this woman's swimming pool, you go and you tell her, and what does she say in response?
Before asking me if I'm okay, before asking if anyone is hurt, all her shallow self does is run outside and pick up the stuff around the pool to make sure that everything looks okay, because she wants her parties to look like Pinterest threw up everywhere.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Ms. Cutter.
Safety first. I wanted to make sure if anyone was getting into the pool, there was no glass there. And then after I checked on that, I did go to Miss Jones and I did ask if you were okay. She was nowhere to be found. She had already left my house without even saying goodbye.
Well, okay, were you hurt, Ms. Jones? Let's get to that.
I wasn't, but I know her ego was.
Oh, shoot. Okay, wait a minute now. All right, I need to see some evidence, ladies.
Yes.
It's a lot of she said
I have
here.
evidence right
You have
here
evidence
for
me?
you.
Yeah, Ms.
Yes.
Cutter, give that to my bailiff.
Evidence from an accident.
Let me see what this is talking about.
There's a copy of an invoice.
I see that.
For the pool repairs.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is to drain the pool. Yeah, because once you drop glass in a swimming pool, you got to start over, right? Because that could, that could literally end someone's life. So you've drained the pool to the tune of $200. The filter replacement, $11.25. The pool refill and balance, $300, and then the labor fee, which was, it took them all day, 8 hours worth of labor to do this. And that total amount was $1,985. So your pool is back operable, ma'am?
Yes.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
Miss Jones found out that we were both seeing the same guy, Travis.
Who I am still seeing.
So
who
you are
dumped
Travis's
her.
girlfriend?
Absolutely.
Travis can do whatever he wants. I'm
Okay.
seeing other men.
And later,
When I got home and I calculated the expenses, the total was $1,000. And then to my shock, Paisley refused to pay her share of the total amount.
this is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with a case of Carrie Cutter, who blames Bailey Jones for sabotaging her swimming pool.
Now let's look at these text messages between you two friends, frenemies, it looks like y'all are. Okay.
Yes. So if you'll actually bring up the first text message, which is from Stacy.
Okay. Okay, so
Stacy-
this is the friend of the friend that
This
you
is the
told me
friend.
about. Okay, go ahead.
So Stacy and Miss Jones had shared a ride share together over to my house to the party.
Yep.
And that's when Miss Jones found out that we were both seeing the same guy, Travis.
Who I am still seeing.
So
who
you are
dumped
Travis's
her.
girlfriend.
Absolutely.
Does that jive with you, miss?
Travis can do whatever he wants. I'm
Okay.
seeing other men. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so she's a single lady. Did you know she dropped glass in my pool and left? Not so much as a thank you for having me. Sus, as in suspect. Girl, I think she did it on purpose. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were both hooking up with Travis, and I mentioned your fling to her. Were you just now hearing this Travis hookup story on the way to the party, ma'am?
That was the first I had heard of it, but Travis and I weren't exclusive. We're adults. I have no qualms about seeing a man who's seeing other people.
Okay.
I think the real issue is she's just never lost anything in her entire life. And, she's a girl boss, and she's a go-getter, and she's perfect, and she's in spin class. And for somebody like me who's real and authentic and eat whatever I want and I drink whatever I want, and for him to like me, eating her up inside, clearly.
Interesting. Let me ask you this, Miss Jones. What did possess you to go get an actual glass? Why not say, hey, Madam Hostess, do you have any more paper goods?
That would have been the considerate thing to do looking back, but I can't change what's already happened.
Okay.
What prompted me to go get the glass was her being a terrible hostess and not having enough utensils and plates and cups for everybody to go around.
Let's talk about this exchange that I'm seeing. It looks like this is from you, Miss Jones. Thank you so much for coming over. Stacy, let me know why you had a hissy fit. So this is after you had talked to this Stacy.
Hissy fit.
Correct.
I don't know how you were brought up, but if you think that's acceptable behavior, you are sadly mistaken.
You're the only one that's
I'll be
sad.
happy to Venmo you the cost of the repairs. So you're going to send her a request for funds?
$1,985.
LOL, don't hold your breath, darling. So you had no intention of paying.
Absolutely none. Accidents happen. Look at her haircut.
Wow.
pretend like I didn't
Okay,
hear
you
that.
two are really both quite hot messes. Okay, so you had to incur this $1,985 entirely, ma'am?
Yes.
You've paid it. You did admit that you went in her house, you got the glass. How did you drop the glass, Miss Jones?
Whenever I go to a party, people like to gather around me.
I know, you're the center of the attention, you're the life of the party, you are the superstar. Yes, Miss Jones, the court is clear. What happened then?
I dropped my glass. It was on the pool deck. I didn't drop it in the pool. It wasn't malicious. And honestly, I didn't think about the safety of the glass by the pool because even though she hosted a pool party, was not letting anybody in the pool.
But it is a situation where once that happens, Miss Jones, now the whole pool is compromised. You do understand that part?
I do at this point, yes.
Okay, at this point.
And that is why I went and told her immediately. I know that it's a safety issue.
Okay, so also
And then
that's
left my
why you
house.
told her?
Yes.
Okay, so y'all, this is not a good situation between you two ladies on the front end, only exacerbated by this accident, which you contend was an accident.
Absolutely,
And you
on purpose.
feel was on purpose. And let me ask you another question. Had Miss Jones, she did not, but had she come to you and said, you know what, Miss Cutter, there are no more paper plates and cups, I would like a cocktail, how would you have accommodated her?
Great question.
Miss Jones, I know it was a good question. That's why I asked it. Now go ahead, Miss Cutter.
I do have extra paper plates and cups in my house. I always come prepared because I host a lot.
Okay, so you would have been able to accommodate her request?
Yes, I would have, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have any final words, Miss Jones, before I make my ruling?
I don't. I think it's preposterous that she'd think I would be jealous of anything but her income, honestly.
Let me go ahead and get ready to rule on this, ladies. First of all, I think that it's clear to the court that there is no love lost between you two.
No.
Okay, my goodness. I've never seen such night and day personalities in quite a while. I believe Miss Cutter, when she says that she would have been able to accommodate your request, Miss Jones, for a paper cup, instead of you taking it upon yourself to go rummaging through another grown woman's house and cabinets to avail yourself to a glass cup.
If we're having adult gatherings, have adult utensils.
Okay. I believe that you were acting outside of the scope of your capacity as an invited guest to another adult's home. I believe not recognizing whether you knew, the court feels like you should have known that bringing glass is an innate hazard to an outdoor event, one where someone could, including yourself, Miss Jones, could have gotten very seriously hurt. I don't believe, Miss Cutter, that this woman was so jealous about Travis, no matter how hot and fine he is, that she would intentionally shatter glass on the likes of your property. But I do believe that it was a willful execution of her negligence to bring glass to an outdoor pool event. Therefore, the court finds in favor of the plaintiff, Miss Cutter, to the tune of the full $1,985. That is my ruling.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $1,985.
Any final words for each other?
Have a good life.
Travis says hi.
You've had your day in court. Please follow me.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
$500, which is her portion, you're saying, of a portable air conditioning unit.
Correct.
So this apartment had no central air?
It did not have any central.
Okay, so you guys decided together to do a portable air
Correct.
conditioning unit.
Closed captioning provided by This is Equal Justice with Judge Eboni. Next time on Equal Justice with Judge Eboni.
I heard from one of our mutual friends that she was jealous because we were seeing the same guy.
That's absolutely not true.
No, that is true.
All right, Ms. Jones, we're going to get you in a minute. Okay, so you're telling the court that she intentionally shattered glass in your home swimming pool to cause you inconvenience. What do you say about that, Ms. Jones?
I say that her story is as crazy as she is.
This is Equal Justice. Sylvia Hamet claims her former roommate broke her promise to pay half the cost of an air conditioner. Paisley Farmer says the price of the portable unit was more than she agreed to, so she shouldn't have to pay a dime.
Well, hello, ladies. Looks like I've got Sylvia Hamet here as my plaintiff, Paisley Farmer as the defendant. Ms. Hamet, what brings you to court today?
I'm suing my former roommate, Paisley, for $500 because she refused to pay her half of the portable AC that we agreed to share.
Okay, so you two ladies lived together for how long?
We lived together for 6 months. I was the one who got the apartment for us, thanks to my credit score, and I was the only person on the agreement. Yes.
Okay, but it was a 2-bedroom.
It was a 2-bedroom and 1 bathroom.
And 1 bathroom. So really the apartment was in your name, ma'am.
Correct.
And she's paying rent to you, essentially?
Correct.
And at this point, she's moved out?
Yes.
Okay. Now, before we get to your side, ma'am, tell me this, Ms. Hamet, $500, which is her portion, you're saying, of a portable air-conditioned unit.
Correct.
So where did things go wrong?
So basically, the initial model that we were gonna buy together was for $636.
Okay.
When I did go there, the model that we were supposed to purchase was sold out. So I had to get the closest to the deal we had already agreed on, which ended up being $761. We obviously needed someone to deliver and install the portable AC. I told her, and I did mention, that I'm getting a handyman to come install the unit for us. The handyman asked for $238, which I paid him. Okay. And then, so the total was $1,000. And then to my shock, Paisley refused to pay her share of the total amount.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
We agreed to go half, so you need to send your half, preferably by the end of the month so I can pay off my credit card. You say absolutely not. Good credit's important to her, ma'am.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with a dispute between Sylvia Hamet and her former roommate, Paisley Farmer, over a pricey air conditioner.
Do you have any evidence proving the cost of the unit?
Yes,
the cost of the inside? Go ahead and proffer that to my bailiff, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
And let's see what we got here. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
It is a quiet energy unit with Wi-Fi control. Okay, so it looks like this is the smartest unit on the market, $761. Okay, great. Then I see you have a payment here to the installation fee for $238. That is for the handyman. Okay, let me look at this text exchange here between the two of you. So this is saying, hey, do you want to get this AC for the living room? Looks like you say, sure, it's nice and it has multiple uses. I like it. Okay, perfect. The total is $636 before taxes. She says, okay, I'll send you $318 after it arrives. Ms. Farmer, what do you say for yourself?
This is it installed.
This is it installed?
Yes.
So it's just sitting like that, like an eyesore in y'all's living room?
Yes.
Do you have any evidence to show the court, ma'am?
I do.
Okay, give that to my bailiff.
I'll take the folder, everything.
Oh, everything?
Yeah, please give him everything so we can consider it. Thank you, ma'am. Let's see where we are. Thank you, sir. This is the defendant. Why didn't you discuss this with me? I could have found someone for cheaper. $500 is not my budget. I can only do what we agreed upon, which was $318.
Yeah.
We agreed to go half, so you need to send your half, preferably by the end of the month so I can pay off my credit card. You say absolutely not. I mean, that is why, you know, good credit's important to her, ma'am.
Yeah.
Because that's how y'all got the apartment. I don't know what your credit score looking like. Okay. Absolutely not. I'm not about to pay for the extra cost I knew nothing about. But you could have asked, not just keep leaving me to do all the work. Well, how about that? You know, it sounds like, but for your roommate here, y'all might still just be sitting up there sweating.
Judge Eboni's verdict when Equal Justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
So where did this go so badly that you ended up moving out?
I just refused to pay the extra money. I think it's just immoral.
So why is it that when you saw there was a price difference, you didn't simply text your roommate, ma'am, and simply say, hey, it is going to be a bit more, $100 more to be exact. Are you still good?
I've always been the one who's taking care of everything in the household.
Well, you had a house. I mean, that's clear to me. You had a household.
That is correct.
I also reimbursed her, I just want to say.
All right, I believe, absent any more remarks, ladies, I'm ready to make a ruling here. I do believe she's right in that when you saw there was a price difference, you owed her a duty at least to inform. That said, nobody could reasonably believe that any handyman in America is free, ma'am, okay? So therefore, I am ruling in favor of the plaintiff. You need to pay her $400. I am deducting $100, ma'am, from your claim. That's the $100 you must eat for failing to inform your roommate of the inflated cost. That is my ruling.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $400.
It's just like ridiculous. I was never told about this expense. I shouldn't have to like eat all this money when I only lived there for 2 weeks longer.
I think it was a simple issue that we could have solved without a courtroom.
Yeah.
You've had your day in court. Please follow me, ladies.
Thank you.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Cheryl Collins claims she got stuck paying the bill after a first date snuck out mid-meal. Jason Sutton says he invited the plaintiff for drinks only, but she showed up late, then ignored him, so he bailed.
Good day. I see I've got Cheryl Collins here as my plaintiff and Jason Sutton as my defendant. Ms. Collins, I see you are suing Mr. Sutton for $218.69. Why are we in court today, ma'am?
Well, Your Honor, last May the 20th, Mr. Sutton here invited me out on a date and then proceeded to walk out on the tab.
This man asked you to go with him on a date and then he left before the bill came?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-oh. Tell me more. Let's start with, how did y'all meet? How do you know this man?
So I'm a social media influencer, and Mr. Sutton, the defendant, came on my page.
He slid into your DMs?
Yes, essentially. And we were discussing and we were talking for a couple weeks, and we were just chatting over the phone. And he originally asked me out on a couple dates, first one being coffee and the second one being ice cream.
So those dates took place?
No, ma'am.
Oh.
I don't drink coffee, first off. And secondly, I'm lactose intolerant, so we did not do coffee, nor did we did ice cream.
So you declined those dates?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, continue, ma'am.
Well, after we had continued talking, he shortly after decided to ask me out on a date. And we decided on dinner Friday at 5:30. Unfortunately, our original timing did not quite work out with my schedule. I had to reschedule on him twice. First time being with work, I was on a fashion shoot, and my shoot lasted a little bit longer than I was anticipating.
That happens.
So,
because this is how you pay your bills, I assume, ma'am. You're a full-time influencer.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I do think sometimes people hear that, Ms. Collins, and they can be dismissive. But the reality is some of these social media influencers are making over $100,000 a year. So, and you're presenting very beautifully to the court today. So this is, something that's lucrative for you. So you do have to show up to these things.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so your shoot runs long. You have to reschedule.
Yes, that was the first one. Second, I ended up having to reschedule on him a second time because my father did fall ill, and he lives. Thank you.
Yeah.
He does live nearby, so I tend to go over there and take care of him every now and again.
Okay, so there's 2 reschedules. He's understanding, I suppose. And then how do you actually get on the date?
Well, eventually our schedules ended up working out, and we were able to make it on time.
Great.
So we scheduled for 5:30 on a Friday, and I was a little bit late.
How late, ma'am?
We scheduled for 5:30. I showed up at 6:15.
45 minutes late.
Mr. Sutton, I promise you I did not fail math. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Okay, 45 minutes late, ma'am. That's not a little. Go ahead.
I got stuck in traffic.
Ma'am, come on, please, go ahead.
So I showed up at 6:15, and that was when our date proceeded.
And how was his energy when you showed up 45 minutes late? Because this is the first time y'all are seeing each other in person, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you can see that doesn't make like a great impression. So to the extent he was excited to see and meet you finally, that might be compromised after 45 minutes of waiting on someone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, but you get there. How was it? Did he look like his pictures? Because that's very important.
Yeah, actually, he looked a little bit better than his pictures, to be honest. He's not very photogenic, but real life, doing pretty well.
Okay. Nice. No, I say that with sincerity because you're right. Most of the time, that's not the case. Continue, ma'am. Okay, so you see him in person. He looks better than his photos. What does he say to you?
Very, very small chit-chat, just pleasantries in regards to when I show up. And I'm a little frantic because I know that I'm running late, so...
Were you apologetic, ma'am?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes. So sitting down, the waiter originally comes over, and I go ahead and I order myself a margarita because they're my favorite. And I have not eaten all that day, so I'm starving. So I originally go ahead with my margarita, order a calamari as well.
Okay.
And
did you ask him if he wanted anything to eat, ma'am? No, I'm just, because we're getting your order in, but...
Well, I assumed that he would have ordered something if he wanted anything.
So the answer is no.
No,
At this
I did
point,
not
you
ask.
just ordered your margarita and your calamari. Okay.
Yes,
And
he
that's
had a
just-
drink already.
Okay. Well, I would hope so if he was sitting there waiting for you for 65 minutes. That's my rule. Once you are 1 second late, the party starts, honey. Okay? It's drinks and food.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
By the time the waiter brings over the food and the margarita, she is on her phone. She's on social media. She's posting, and she starts acting like I'm not even there.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Cheryl Collins, who blames Jason Sutton for ghosting her mid-date.
And then do you proceed to order more food?
Yes.
Okay. What
Later
did you
on.
order, ma'am?
Well, after I finished the original appetizer, I went ahead and I ordered another drink, and...
also a margarita?
Yes.
Because I just want a visual. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. And I don't really like to drink on an empty stomach, so I not only had the calamari, but I also had the fried alligator was my second. Yeah, it was very interesting. And
now, was that just still a starter, or have we gotten to your entree yet?
No, that was just the starter.
Okay, let's go. What did you get for your entree, ma'am?
I got a salmon.
Okay, so you had the calamari, you had the fried alligator, you've had 2 margaritas at this point, and now you've got a plate of salmon?
Yes.
Okay, and did you get any more cocktails?
I did get one more cocktail.
Okay, so you
with
had 3
my dinner.
drinks. Okay. Do you have an itemized bill that the court can look at, ma'am, and see?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead and proffer that to my bailiff.
just have everything.
I'll take
the entire
everything.
folder?
And while you are doing that, you know what they say about stories, there's 2 sides. Let me get to you, Mr. Sutton. Thank you for your patience here, sir. Let's get to what you can corroborate. You meet this woman on social media, she's very beautiful. You slide in her DMs, you start communicating.
Yes, Your Honor.
You find out that she's a social media influencer professionally, bada bing, bada boom, somebody's number is exchanged, y'all start talking on the phone.
Yes.
At what point, sir, do you decide, I am interested enough to take her on an in-person date?
Well, I was interested very early on. I asked her out 2 times. Both times she turned me down.
So then, after 2 cancellations, and did you believe those cancellations?
To be completely honest,
You better be, you're sworn in.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the first scenario, the modeling, I don't know much about it. I think she could have taken maybe 10 or 15 seconds just to send me something. She told me like 10 minutes before our date. I've already driven there. That was very upsetting to me.
Okay, she left that part out. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, and then as far as the second incident is
With her father's illness.
Yes, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt.
No, I understand. The court agrees with that.
Yes.
Okay, so for finally,
Yes.
we get on a dinner date, and you concede, Mr. Sutton, that you did ask her on the third date, and it was your idea to say, you know what, you don't like milk, you can't do lactose, you don't like coffee, let's go to dinner.
I said, let's go to drinks, not dinner. I never said anything.
You got to clear it up. See, Mr. Sutton, because this is how I'm going to make my ruling. So you're telling the court that you said nothing about dinner. You said, let's go to drinks.
I said, let's go to drinks.
Ms.
That's
Collins, did he say, let's go to drinks?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, continue, sir.
First, she reschedules twice, as we've mentioned, and then finally we lock in a date, and it's during happy hour.
I noticed that. I didn't want to say nothing.
5:30.
But when you said that y'all were meeting at 5:30, it's happy hour. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, and I made that explicit that I wanted to meet at happy hour.
Oh, you said that. Okay.
Yes.
And one thing I like about somebody that's direct is you know what to expect. So there's an indication when someone says, I want to take you out during happy hour, you know what time it is. Right? I mean, hello.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, sir. So you own that you are looking for a happy hour experience. Continue.
Yes, so I get there at 5:20, Your Honor, and I get a phone call from her at 5:25 saying she'll be a few minutes late.
Okay.
I interpreted few minutes as a few minutes. I guess
And
that
then
means something
you
else
found
to
out
her.
it was 45 minutes.
It was 45 minutes.
Right.
I ordered one margarita, and the waiter felt so bad for me, he slipped me another one at the happy hour price after 6 o'clock when that ended. She finally shows up at 6:15. I'm a little annoyed at this point, but I'm trying to keep it together.
Now, did she look like her photos?
She did. She was gorgeous.
Okay. No, she is.
Yeah. And she finally sits down, and the conversation
Was she apologetic when she showed up 45 minutes late, sir?
I mean, she mentioned it vaguely, but it was.
But you didn't really feel like it was heartfelt?
No,
Okay.
it felt very.
I don't know why, but for some reason I suspected that. Okay.
Yes.
So she sits down, she orders herself a drink.
Yes. Well, she orders herself more than a drink. She orders a calamari as well. We have a very, very brief conversation.
Well, let's back up.
Yes.
When she orders the cocktail and the calamari together, I presume.
Yes.
Were you surprised because your offer was drinks?
Of course, yes. I was very surprised. I wasn't hungry. I ate beforehand. We said we were meeting for drinks specifically, and I just didn't think she was going to be ordering food. And I don't eat fried food like that either, Your Honor.
Right. Well, it doesn't really matter. The point is, as you say drinks, she starts ordering cuisine.
Exactly.
And you are shocked, but you don't say anything. You're just shocked. Now, at that point, because I'm just curious, were you contemplating the possibility that maybe there was going to be a split check at some point? Like maybe if she's hungry, she'll take care of her food, but allow you to treat her to cocktails because that was the nature of the agreed upon date?
I thought we were meeting up just for drinks,
Right.
and I thought she was going to maybe fit the bill for her, but what she did in the subsequent moments made me question that entire thing.
Okay, so yeah, what did she do then?
Well, by the time the waiter brings over the food and the margarita, she is on her phone. She's on social media, she's posting, and she starts acting like I'm not even there.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
She wasn't even done with the previous place before she starts ordering more food. And so she orders the salmon and the other drink, and I'm just fed up. I can't take it anymore. I'm seeing red. And I just decide I have to leave right now, else I'm going to make a big mistake.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with a case of Cheryl Collins, who blames Jason Sutton for ghosting her mid-date.
What do you say about that, Ms. Collins? Were you working on this date?
Well, I am going to be taking photos and I am taking videos. I'm with
That's
a handsome
working.
young man, and I mean, I suppose, yes, considering the fact that I am an influencer, it is
Correct.
working.
Okay, so you're working on the date. You now feel...
I usually don't bring my work to a date,
and
Your
let's
Honor,
get to
but
that, sir. What do you do for a living?
I am a substitute teacher.
Okay, what grades?
K through 12, I'm able to
Go
sub
everywhere, you're certified?
Yes.
That's excellent, sir. Okay, so you work in education. You're now on a date. Your date shows up 45 minutes late. She immediately pulls out her phone and starts engaging and really working on the date.
Yes.
While she's ordered, so far, a calamari and a margarita.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And the waiter comes by again, and still ignoring me, and she orders her second round of drinks and a crispy alligator. Another top shelf margarita, by the way. I'm getting really fed up at this point, as I think any reasonable man would be.
Okay.
And the waiter is about to come around a third time, but I said, let's try to give this one more chance. And I try engaging in a conversation with her, and I asked her about her father. She just ignores me. She doesn't even engage in the conversation, which calls into question everything else that came before.
Okay. When did she order the salmon, sir?
She ordered the salmon at the end. That was the third time they came around. Yeah, so she wasn't even done with the previous place before she starts ordering more food. And so she orders the salmon and the other drink, and I'm just fed up. I can't take it anymore. I'm seeing red, and I just decide I have to leave right now, else I'm gonna make a big mistake.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
What lie did you make up to get out of this horrible situation?
Yes, I told her I was going to the restroom and I beeline for my car, and I didn't look back.
Closed captioning provided by... This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with a case of Cheryl Collins, who blames Jason Sutton for ghosting her mid-date.
What's the big mistake?
I felt like I would explode, Your Honor. I was just so angry and felt so disrespected.
Oh, well, okay. So how do you get out, literally? Like, how do you excuse yourself from the table?
Yes, Your Honor. I told her I was going to go to the restroom.
Right. Said another way, what lie did you make up to get out of this horrible situation?
Yes, I told her I was going to the restroom and I beelined for my car, and I didn't look back.
Okay, so you never even went to the restroom?
No, I never went to the restroom. No.
Oh, Miss Collins. Sir, do you have any evidence for the court?
I do, but I would just like to add, the next day she did text me about this, and she said I was rude to fit her with a bill like that. And
she said you were rude.
She said I was rude. I told her she was rude to show up 45 minutes late, and she was rude to ignore me and lie to me.
Okay.
So I did pay for my drinks, though. I sent her that money digitally, and I have that here for you as well.
Yeah, offer that up to the court. Woo-wee. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You're a clown for disappearing on our, quote, date and not paying. This is from the plaintiff. Defendant says, I said I wanted to meet for drinks, that's in caps, not dinner. Madam plaintiff says, you're just full of it and cheap. Defendant says, just sent you $20 for my drinks. Go find another sucker. I ain't the one. I do see where there was a digital $20 sent. Ma'am, did you receive this money?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't think I have to hear any more from either of you two. I've seen this story before. The court is ready to rule. Now, nobody hates a cheap man more than me. Nobody.
Judge Eboni's verdict when Equal Justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
What this court will not condone is women or men coming into my courtroom under the guise of chivalry when what they're really doing is dating for dinner. Ma'am, you are dating for a meal. It's low integrity, it's anti-feminist, and for lack of a better term, it's trifling. Believe it or not, counterintuitive, you cheapen yourself. You cheapen yourself. You become a version of a type of prostitute. I'm just gonna tell it to you plain, and I don't believe that's what you intend. Now, if this is a man you are seeing, if this is a man you are dating actively, if this is a man who you've invested time and energy into as well, then your expectation should rise according to that mutual investment. And then, Mr. Sutton, you do have to put up or shut up. But at this point, the court is not convinced that you did anything wrong. In fact, the court is convinced, ma'am, that you operated in bad faith, that you wasted this man's time. So the court completely dismisses the plaintiff's claim of $218.69. That is my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
I cannot believe that. You owe me the money.
Well, I definitely agree with the ruling of this court, and the greatest gift of all, though, is never having to see you again. So.
Okay. You've had your day in court. Please follow me. Ladies first.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Stacey Powers claims she fractured her ankle while popping out of a cake at a bachelor party and says the defendant should pay her medical bill. Mark Frank says it's not his fault that the plaintiff tripped and fell getting out of the cake.
Ladies and gentlemen, I see I've got Stacey Powers here as my plaintiff, Mark Frank as the defendant. Ms. Powers, you're suing Mr. Frank here for $825. What brings you to court today?
I'm here because I'm a trained dancer and professional entertainer. I was hired by Mark to do a pop-out routine, pop-out cake routine for a bachelor party. Unfortunately, I came out of the cake and it was lifted up as I was in the cake, and unfortunately I slipped and fell coming out.
The cake was lifted up?
Yes.
As you were coming out Marilyn Monroe style?
In the beginning, I was on the floor in the cake, and I didn't know that I was going to be lifted up and placed onto a coffee table.
Was this a birthday party?
It was a bachelor party.
Bachelor party. How did you go about finding her services?
Well, when I went to buy the cake, the person who sold it to me actually could refer me to...
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Okay. So you contacted Ms. Powers, and what was the rate in which you let him hire you, ma'am? What was the hireable rate?
So it was a prepayment of $150, and then $150 before, and then $150 after, and that does not include the tips.
Okay, so $300 is the flat rate with a $150 deposit, which you received.
Yes.
He still owes you $150.
Yes.
And you feel you don't need to pay the $150?
I do not.
And why is that?
Because the agreed upon terms were that she was going to be there dancing, and she was not able to fulfill that. She came late.
But
how late?
About 20 minutes, and I did apologize, but that does not excuse the unsafe conditions that were made for me.
So you're conceding the late piece, but you're saying that there were conditions that were hazardous to you?
Yes.
And what would those be?
I was originally in the cake, I was on the floor, and I felt myself being lifted, and then as soon as the song went on, I popped out of the cake as we rehearsed or talked about. I came out, was trying to step out of the cake, and instantly slipped and fell.
Did you get hurt when you fell?
Yes, I heard an instant pop in my ankle, and I wasn't really able to move. It was in serious pain.
Hence why you were not able to complete the obligation of the dancing piece. Now, you referenced an agreement. You have a contract?
Yes, we do.
So give the folder to Elijah here, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Performance contract between Ms. Powers, Mr. Frank. Call time is 9:30. Start performing at 10. And what was the expected, let me get your opinion on this, Mr. Frank. How long did you think this was going to last?
So in the contract, it stipulates 45 minutes of a performance.
Okay.
Or 4 songs.
Oh, I do see that here. Yes, total number of dances, 4 songs. You paid the booking fee. She agreed to that. You're saying there was a failure of performance. She's saying, I can't perform because I'm hurt. So let's talk about what is being disputed. This hoisting up of the cake, which you say you did not have any idea was going to happen.
No.
So whose idea was that, Mr. Frank?
Well, I mean, we wanted it to be visible. It didn't make sense to have the cake on the ground, just for the sake of...
How big was the cake? I'm just wondering. Like her height or taller or?
I would say about half height.
Okay, so talk to me about how this works. I've never been in a cake, ma'am. Are you like, I don't know, scrunched down in the cake? How does this work?
Normally, yeah, I just kind of step down a little bit and squeeze into the cake. Usually it's not so hard because they're a little bit better. This was a cheaper and smaller cake, which usually I'm not used to. I'm not really sure how much.
What did we say about that,
for
Mr.
it.
Frank? Were you trying to cut corners? Were you on a strict budget? What's going on? Why the cake's so
I mean, we
cheap?
were trying to, we are on a budget. Like, we're not made of money.
Okay.
But
How much you pay for the cake, by the way?
$75.
The cake was $75?
Yes, which I thought, I mean, I'm not an expert in
It's a
booking
rental, okay,
cakes,
fine.
yeah.
So she was really the expense for the performance?
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying that you couldn't see the cake if it was on the floor, so it was y'all's idea, you and the bachelor's idea, I guess? Whose idea was it actually to?
Well, so the bachelor wasn't there yet. So the idea was that it was going to be a
was this
surprise.
a surprise party?
Well, not a surprise party so much as we wanted to have it all set up and he would
Okay.
arrive. So he knew there was a party happening.
Okay.
He did not know about the cake.
So that part was a surprise?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
cool.
And so he was the call time here is 10 because he was going to show up at 10.
Okay.
Ideally, we would have had those 30 minutes to practice,
If she had
figure
been
out the
on
logistics
time.
exactly.
Okay.
Which did not happen. And so
Why weren't you on time?
Car accident, three car pile up.
Okay,
on the way.
traffic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
What ultimately was the injury, ma'am?
I had a fractured ankle after.
Goodness.
And later,
The last time he broke a bone, I had to take out a loan just to pay to get his surgery because he broke his wrist.
Sounds very dangerous,
Yeah,
sir.
it's a very dangerous sport.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Stacey Powers, who blames Mark Frank for a bachelor party injury.
So anyways, you decide to put the cake on a table, I suppose, or what happens?
Yeah, me and a couple of my buddies, we put the cake up when she was inside of it on the coffee table.
And
then
didn't tell her that, though?
we did not explicitly say you're going on the coffee table. I assume she knows what it feels like to be lifted up. We've all been on
So that
elevators.
was like a surprise lift?
Yeah, it was a surprise lift.
Surprise lift, okay. What ultimately was the injury, ma'am?
I had a fractured ankle after.
Goodness. And why don't you think you should have to pay, since you were the one with the bright idea for the surprise lift, sir?
Well, nowhere in the contract does it say I'd be responsible for medical bills or any personal expenses.
Well, personal expenses. I don't know that a medical bill is a personal expense, sir. Let's go back to this indemnification clause here. It actually says that you agree, sir, to hold her harmless against all claims, damages, and liabilities.
You know, we do have video of it. It was a pretty...
Oh, we have video?
We do have video, yes.
Well, then let's not argue about it, sir. Let's just watch the video. Okay. This helps. Oh, not the slow-mo. So what about that you saw was her being negligent?
Well, she didn't stand up, look around, see where she was.
Now, come on.
She just put her leg through the cake.
No, Mr. Frank, knock it off. Mr. Frank, you're gonna have to knock it off. Because the courtroom is erupting in laughter because you know that's not how this goes. She's trying to perform. She's in performance mode. She's done this several times. How many cakes have you jumped out of, ma'am?
At least 10, and to be honest, Your Honor, I usually have some gentlemen help me out, and none of them
Yes,
did.
and you probably are not lifted a foot and a half off the ground to your surprise. So I would say based off what I saw, Mr. Frank, she's exercising reasonable due care and diligence. And I don't know exactly what you expected her to do to avoid this accident.
I mean, with respect, Your Honor, I would think someone who's jumped out of 10 cakes would know how to negotiate that distance.
Okay, I see that's your story, you sticking to it?
That was my expectation.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, well, this is very interesting. One more time, just so everybody's clear on what I'm reading here. The client, Mr. Frank, agrees to indemnify and hold her harmless against any and all claims, damages, liabilities, and expenses arising from your actions of negligence, okay, except, as you pointed out, where such claim arises from her own gross negligence. I don't see any gross negligence by the plaintiff, sir, nor do I see any willful misconduct. What I do see is some level of negligence on your part by failing to tell this woman who's about to jump out of a very fragile, small, undersized cake, almost blind, if you will, okay? There's no assistance. She's right about that. Now, one of y'all held out a hand even for her to hold, so to catch her fall. You didn't.
Which also would have been part of the, if we had discussed it beforehand, rehearsed, practiced, something like that.
Okay, right. So now 2 sides of that. I agree, she was late. That infringed on some ability for y'all to workshop, pre-plan, and rehearse. But just because she's late, sir, doesn't mean we hit her with a surprise attack. And then everything that happens after that fault, she's solely responsible for. No. At that point, you too could have made some modifications. You could have decided, hey, the cake would be better sitting on the coffee table, but we didn't get to discuss that. We didn't get to plan or practice that. So maybe it's going to be a compromised view of the cake on the ground where this young lady would have had a better shot at not fracturing her own ankle. Speaking of, how's the ankle feeling, ma'am?
It's better now. I'm able to actually stand and walk on it.
And to be honest with you, sir, she could have come up in here and hit you over the head with some lost wage damages for other jobs that she was unable to fulfill as she recovered from the ankle injury. Quiet. Nothing to say on that one. Okay, very interesting. Well, I do think I've heard enough, and I'm ready to make a ruling. This court finds that the plaintiff, although late, and traffic is not a good excuse. We live in big cities, ma'am. Traffic is an ongoing, constant thing. If you got to get to work at 9:30, get to work at 9:30, ma'am. But despite your tardiness, I do believe that you made a good faith effort to perform as the scope of contract indicated. Looks like you absolutely put everything you had into jumping out of that cake. And but for the unfortunate accident, I believe she would have danced for the 45 minutes and you would have had a fulfilled, fun evening. Because of your negligence, sir, and your failure to communicate to this performer who was going to be the one in the precarious position what was going to be at play and what she needed to plan for in terms of protecting herself physically, I'm going to hold you liable for that, sir. The court rules in favor of the plaintiff for the full amount asked. Her outstanding wage of $150 and her medical bills of $225, grand total of $825 to the plaintiff. That's my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $825.
Any final thoughts?
No.
Any final thoughts, sir?
No.
You've had your day in court. Please grab your belongings and follow me.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
Our son has been doing this motocross bike riding thing for like 10 years.
And it's a competitive sport, I'm here.
It's a competitive sport, but he has broken 8 bones.
This is Equal Justice. James Peterson claims he spent thousands on a motocross bike for his son's high school graduation gift, but his ex refused to chip in. Tanya Hammonds says her ex demanded nearly $2,000 and she just didn't have that much to give.
Mr. Peterson, you are suing Ms. Hammonds for $1,650. What brings you to court today, sir?
Our youngest son, Matt, has just graduated high school, and he's been in motocross since 10. I got the idea that I want him to have the best and be the best in this sport, and he's competed for years. And I found the perfect bike for him. It's his favorite color, lime green. It's a good price.
What's a good price?
The price is $7,650, Your Honor.
Sounds like Ms. Hammonds disagrees that it was a good price.
Disagrees wholeheartedly.
Do you have a photo of the bike?
I do.
Give me the folder, sir. Give me the whole folder.
All evidence is right here.
So we can see exactly what we're talking about here. Thank you, sir. And you're saying your son, who is now 18, you wanted to gift him this bike as a high school graduation gift.
That's correct.
And Ms. Hammond, where do you come into this?
My ex here, he has this idea that he needs to buy our son this bike. Our son has been doing this motocross bike riding thing for like 10 years.
And it's a competitive sport, I'm hearing.
It's a competitive sport, but he has broken 8 bones. The last time he broke a bone, I had to take out a loan just to pay to get his surgery. because he broke his wrist.
Sounds very dangerous,
Yeah,
sir.
it's a very dangerous sport. I don't think it's a good sport for him.
You sound like you're very concerned on behalf of your son.
I'm very concerned, and I'm really frustrated because he made this decision without even speaking to me.
So it's purchased?
Yes, it is purchased.
This is the actual
I took my
bike.
whole tax return to buy that bike.
What is normally the standard?
Normally the standard is a gift maybe around $200 or something like that, a party and stuff like that.
How much did he ask you for?
$1,650.
Oh, so and you said at that time, I don't have it.
I told him at that time, I don't have it. I told him it's a very expensive gift.
What did she say, according to you, sir?
She has a whole new husband that she's been
Don't
with.
count her husband money.
And
don't count and were you her husband?
No,
so I want
wasn't.
you to not even say just when it come out your throat.
I'm here to win the case,
just
not
put
an
it right
argument.
back in.
Okay, I got
just put it right, swallow it. Put it right back down. Okay.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
The woman is telling you what it is, sir.
Instead of just saying,
because she's already
let's
paying
sit down and come up with a better number.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with a case of James Peterson, who's fighting with Tanya Hammonds over the cost of their son's graduation gift.
I do have these text messages. Okay, so let's see if we can find out. You say, James, you know I'd love to get Matt a gift, but this is expensive. You, sir, say, you said you chip in $100 a month. He's graduating once and deserves it. Yes, I know, but figuring out finances first, which is what you say. Okay, great. Picked up the dirt bike. He's going to lose it when he sees it. Your part, sir, come on.
You see, like right after?
Yeah, you go straight to your part.
If she agreed to it, I'm staying on
But you're not showing me where
topic.
she agreed to it.
This was a verbal conversation. I don't have a microphone on me at 24/7.
Well, that's isn't that unfortunate for you, sir?
It appears to be.
Very, very unfortunate, very inconvenient. She said I'd try to figure it out. That doesn't mean I can magically pay this off.
But the
I'm
thing
stressed. The woman is telling you what it is, sir.
Instead of just saying,
she's already
let's
paying
sit down and come up with a better number.
Mr. Peterson, what she is telling you is part of the reason she ain't got it, which she doesn't owe you an accounting, by the way, because you're not her what? Don't say it. Part of the reason is because she's busy paying off medical bills. You're showing the court this is some of the medical injuries you had to pay for?
Yes, that's the last one where he broke his wrist. That's the one that I had to take out.
His wrist.
Yeah.
Do you not have any concerns about the safety, sir?
You have to break eggs to make omelets. Even Michael Jordan broke his foot.
Okay, I see.
It doesn't matter. You know, if he played football, it would be a different injury.
Matt is 18 now, right?
Yes.
So at this point, the good news is it's not even for y'all to decide. He's a brand new young man, adult. He gets to decide for himself if he wants to continue to assume this type of risk.
Judge Eboni's verdict when Equal Justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
You made the decision to pay for the medical bills, take out the loans. Nobody made you do that, so you are going to have to carry those. But certainly nobody made you go get a $7,000 some odd dollar bike. But listen, that's your son. If you want to do it, you do it.
I want the best for him.
But what I'm not going to allow you to do, sir, is now unilaterally hold this woman accountable. Don't go like that. The court rules in favor of the defendant in full. The plaintiff's claim is dismissed. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I wish y'all well. Figure it out. Don't you say that word. That's my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
I'm just glad that the judge saw it my way. She saw that I had nothing to do with this ridiculous purchase and I didn't deserve to have to pay for it.
I'm happy with this result. I respect it, but reality was different. And
You've had your day in court. Please follow me. Ladies first.
That's right.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
Can you read read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Josephine Tyler claims her new neighbor was so noisy that she had no choice but to move out so she could get some peace. Carl Blunder says he tried to be a good neighbor, but all Miss Tyler did was complain.
Well, good afternoon. I see Josephine Tyler here as my plaintiff.
Yes.
Carl Blunder as the defendant. Mr. Blunder, I see you've got a witness with you, Mr. Jeffrey Reese. Okay, he's been sworn in, Elijah?
He has been sworn in, Your Honor.
Excellent. Okay, Ms. Tyler, it looks like you're suing for $4,800. You're saying that this man was your neighbor and he was too noisy and forced you to move. So tell us exactly why you're in court today.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I moved into a quiet neighborhood because I like quiet, and I had been teaching, but I lost my job during the pandemic. So I started an online teaching in my apartment. And everything was fine when until this Carl moved in, and then I had to move out. I mean,
Okay, so give me some more background here, Ms. Tyler. So how long had you lived in your apartment before the defendant moved in?
I lived there for 3 years, and I had a really nice neighbor, Barbara. She was elderly, but we were friends.
So that Barbara lived in this unit before Carl moved in?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a duplex. And she was so sweet and quiet. She would like knit and read, and she slept a lot, but we did favors for each other, so I really liked her.
So that was a good situation. And I noticed you said duplex, Ms. Tyler, so you two share a wall?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So it's really important that the neighbor is quiet.
Got it. And you're saying during the pandemic, as many of us had to pivot and figure out how to still have an income, you smartly chose to launch your educational offerings online?
Yeah, so I work from home.
Got it.
So now it's even more important
that you have quiet.
Exactly. So you get it. You really get it.
No,
Thank you.
yeah, I do. But
Thank you.
tell me a bit about the types of noise you're saying that the defendant caused.
Well, if I could just say about Barbara,
We're going to go back to Barbara. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
what happened? Where is Barbara?
She
passed
unfortunately,
on?
yeah, she.
Okay.
Yes, she passed away.
Okay.
And I had to be there when my landlord found out about it. For me, it was really dramatic. And so that was
this is the landlord. That's the witness? Okay,
Jeffrey,
that's what Mr. Reese is.
yes.
Okay.
So that was like a whole change for me, losing Barbara and not having that friendship, that neighbor that I really cared about, and we lived well, like together in the duplex. It also was horrific to just, walk in there. I don't know. So you found the body? Is that what you're telling me?
I
went in with, yes, I had to, there was a smell. There was just disgusting smell, and I haven't heard from her.
So this is a really bad scenario. Okay, so may Miss Barbara rest in peace. She's gone on to glory.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sweet lady.
Okay, she's upset. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, ma'am. Yeah.
And then.
And I am sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Thank you. And so. I don't know, I was just dealing with that, and then within 2 weeks, he had the apartment ready to rent, and then Carl moved in, and my life was literally like turned upside down. Life as I knew it was over.
Was over. And tell me again, the types of, I want to understand, Ms. Tyler, what were you hearing that was so disruptive?
Okay, well, let me just say that I'm a reasonable person. You can see that, right? Like I'm.
Well, the jury's still out, but we'll find out.
Okay, but I'm, I try to be professional. I mean, when he moved in, I came over with a fruit basket. Just, I wanted to make a connection.
Neighborly thing to do.
Right, and he seemed kind of rude, kind of loud. And to my surprise, he had 2 large dogs. I mean, they're huge. And then a parrot, which was on the shoulder, which was squawking really, really loud. So I just basically mentioned that I work from home and I needed quiet, and he seemed to comply. It wasn't going to be a problem, and that's how the whole thing started.
Okay. Let me hear from the defendant here. Mr. Blunder, let me know, how accurate is this picture that the plaintiff is painting?
Well, let me start, Your Honor, by saying that I moved to Stamford from Upper Manhattan.
Okay.
And my apartment there was not satisfactory. It was very small, and for the rent that I was paying, it just wasn't a good...
New York City for you.
Right.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a good situation for me and my pets. In fact, for the bailiff, I have a few photos of them for you, Your Honor, just to see what we're talking about.
Thank you.
It's two 2-year-old German Shepherds and then a 5-year-old blue and gold macaw.
Oh, beautiful. This is the parrot?
Yes.
Okay. Beautiful bird. I see these two pups. Okay, but you said they're how old?
They're 2 years old now.
Okay, and how much do they weigh a piece?
Oh, gosh. Sometimes they feel like 50 pounds. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay,
I'm so
but
sorry.
they're not 5 pounds. Okay.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
Singing, trying to.
I'm just learning.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Josephine Tyler, who blames neighbor Carl Blunder for ruining her peace and quiet.
All right, and now I see that there's some emails in here for my review.
Yes. There are, in fact, some emails. These are the emails that I received from Josephine while I was living there, detailing the complaints that she had with me. I moved into the duplex.
Hold on, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you. I moved into the duplex after I'd come to help my cousin, Robert, move into Stanford's house.
Okay.
And I just fell in love with the place. It was the amount of space that I needed. It let me live in a nice city where I could still have a nightlife, but also there was enough space for my animals. It had a nice backyard, 2-story duplex, everything I could want.
Okay, let me see these emails here. So this is from the plaintiff here. She says, "Hi, Carl. You've been making noise ever since you moved in here. I can hear you playing guitar, singing, your dog's barking, and parrot talking." Does the bird talk, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Ma'am, let me review the evidence. I will get back to you. Okay. I can hear your loud TV and your fire alarm going off. I am emailing you to ask if you could please keep the noise level to a minimum. I have lived here for many years and have not had any trouble with the other tenant. Thank you. Signed, Josephine Tyler. Now let's see your response. You say, "I am so sorry to hear that you're having a rough time. I leave the windows open for my pets so they can have fresh air. I'll stop the terrible singing and I won't play guitar after hours. Thank you." Did you adhere to that?
As best as I could, Your Honor.
Okay. Go. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. He didn't adhere to that. That's the problem. If he had, then maybe we could have.
Maybe we wouldn't be here today.
Maybe we wouldn't be.
Your hours were unreasonable.
I actually.
At this point, I want to hear from this witness. Sir, please approach. You said he was sworn in, Elijah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, Mr. Jeffrey Reese, you are the landlord of this property?
That's correct, Your Honor. Jeffrey Reese, landlord, and also owner of the duplex.
You own, that's what I wanted to get clear. Thank you, sir. So you actually own the property, and you are leasing to both of these tenants?
Yes, Your Honor. Formerly to Josephine and presently to Carl.
Now, when you say formally, the court is concluding that Ms. Josephine has moved out at this point?
Well, thank goodness she has moved on, Your Honor.
Okay. So I've got one question for you, Mr. Reese, and this is really the important one. Per the local ordinance around the decibel, were you guys coming in below or above the local ordinance?
Your Honor, I'm going to go ahead and say we were right in the middle of the local ordinance. You know, neither one. Right in the middle, which to me is perfectly fine.
Reasonable. So you determined as the property owner, ma'am, you determined as the property owner that the decibel was reasonable?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. Yes, I did.
I have one more question for you, and then I'm going to get to you, ma'am, Ms. Tyler. When you vetted, because as all property owners do, before we rent or lease our properties, which are investments, those are assets, American dream type thing, you've got to vet each tenant carefully, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when you met with Mr. Blunder here, you knew he had 2 dogs, you knew he had the parrot, you knew he played the guitar. Did you have any concerns around the quiet enjoyment of the other tenant's use of the property?
Not at all, Your Honor. That's a perfect point, and it is.
Well, I tend to make those. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. And that tenant is in the lease to comply with all noise ordinances.
Correct.
Stated specifically.
Yeah, and you felt comfortable around that?
Yes, I did.
His ability to do that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so now let's get back to you, Ms. Tyler.
Thank you, Your Honor. What he's saying is false. I mean, I actually have a noise log of everything that happened because it was that upsetting to me. I mean, his team.
Go ahead and give that to my bailiff, ma'am, so the court can consider it.
And what he's saying about, I don't know what he's talking about, meter or something. I actually recorded the sounds because it was just so loud, day and night and day. There was no peace.
Very impeccable with your recording skills here, Ms. Tyler. Not a woman to overlook the details, I see.
Well,
I mean, this is down to, no kidding. This is down to the minute and the second. Okay, so you said to me that you've got a recording?
Yes, I submitted it to the bailiff
hear. Yeah, because we're kind of talking abstractly. I want to hear it.
Okay. Singing, trying to.
I'm just learning.
Okay, well, now that was a little bit loud. That was a little bit loud there, Mr. Blunder. What do you have to say for yourself?
I will say, in the emails you have over there regarding the volume, I understand that some of those were very loud, and full credit, I also understand that she works as a teacher and that she needs...
From home.
From home.
Right.
And I get it. The pandemic wreaked havoc on all of us.
Correct.
When she let me know that the volume wasn't up to her standards, I stopped.
So
That's
you're
not
saying,
true.
Yep.
Sorry.
Point of clarification from the defendant. Are you telling the court that what we heard is representative of your volume originally, and you're saying that it was turned down after the email request from the plaintiff? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
These dogs are barking all day long, and the parrot, and the breaking point was the alarm going off for like 10 minutes straight, alarm going off.
Okay.
And I didn't know if the building was going to burn down. I just didn't know what to do, so I called the fire department.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with a case of Josephine Tyler, who blames neighbor Carl Blunder for ruining her peace and quiet.
Miss Tyler?
That's not true. That's false. He went to work, left the windows open so I could hear the parrot.
Well, he explained the windows open, ma'am. You can't expect the animals to be stuffed in a unit.
These dogs are barking all day long, and the parrot, and the breaking point was the alarm going off for like 10 minutes straight, alarm going off.
Okay.
And I didn't know if the building was going to burn down. I just didn't know what to do, so I called the fire department.
I was in the shower. I had to run out in my shower towel and deal with the fire department in front of the whole neighborhood. It was humiliating.
What? Yeah, I ran out there, and Carl was insulting me. Just totally insulting me, verbally attacking me.
Okay, hold on, ma'am. Let's easy with the dramatics. Okay, go ahead, sir.
She'd been harassing me forever. The entire time I'd been living there, even after I reconciled with her about the sound and I did my best to turn things down. Still, with the emails and the complaints and the logs and dealing with everything. And finally, after that fire department fiasco...
You lost your cool. Okay,
yes.
I got it. Okay. And I do see that the defendant's witness is nodding in agreement to the frequency of Ms. Tyler's complaint.
I'm in total agreement, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Ms. Tyler, let me get to this. At some point, you say, no more. I can't work like this. I can't live like this. You leave the unit.
I had to. I had no choice. I mean,
tell me why you say you had no choice.
Because it's my serenity. It's my peace of mind. I wasn't sleeping at night.
Okay.
When I'm trying to teach, these sounds going off, he was making...
So you broke your lease, ma'am?
I had to keep teaching, and I lost my deposit.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
You did break the lease, ma'am.
I did, but I reached out to both of them, and I was back and forth to Jeffrey, to Carl, and it was back and forth, and neither one was helping.
No answer would have satisfied you.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with a case of Josephine Tyler, who blames neighbor Carl Blunder for ruining her peace and quiet.
that's what I was going to say. How do we get to $4,800?
Well, that was my deposit, which was 2 months rent.
Rent, okay.
So that's a lot of money for a teacher.
And where do you live now?
And I moved to the next town.
Oh, so you live in a whole new town?
Yeah, I didn't
okay.
want to.
And do you like your new residence, ma'am?
I do.
Comfortable?
I do, but
quiet?
I'm paying more than I wanted to. I would have loved to stay in the duplex.
Okay.
That was perfect for me.
Right.
And so I feel like he owes me that money because it's his fault that I moved.
I didn't affect the...
So you're saying that you had to pay $2,400 first month rent and deposit. That's standard. And let me get to you, Mr. Landlord, Mr. Reese here. You did not return that first month rent and deposit because she broke the lease early. Is that correct?
Respectfully, no way, Your Honor. No way I'm going to return that.
Right. Okay. How short was she on the lease, sir?
I don't recall exactly, but I did.
But it was before it was up.
Yes, ma'am. It was most definitely before it was up.
And you concede the point that you did break the lease, ma'am.
I did, but I reached out to both of them, and I was back and forth to Jeffrey, to Carl, and it was back and forth, and neither one was helping.
No answer would have satisfied you.
Mr. Blunder. So, Ms. Tyler, the defendant says he kept the noise quieter. You're disputing that. You're saying it was still as loud as we heard in court today, and that was indeed loud. And so you make the decision, as is your right as an adult, to break this lease, vacate the premises early, and find comfortable accommodations.
That's all I could do.
Okay. I think the court has heard enough, and I'm ready to make a ruling.
Judge Eboni's verdict when equal justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
Mr. Blunder, I don't think I'd want to be your neighbor. Sounds like you got a lot going on. You got a bunch of animals. You got a parrot. You're playing the guitar. You're trying to learn how to sing. Sounds like it's a hot mess. But guess what? Because if your landlord, the actual owner of the property, finds your behavior reasonable, that is really the only controlling factor that the court must concern itself with. So the fact that you brought a witness in today that is both the owner of the property and the property manager, and this man is telling my courtroom that he finds your behavior reasonable, the court has to be consistent with that. So here's the thing, Ms. Tyler. I hear you. I appreciate your position. I understand being a business owner, being a woman who's trying to make it post-pandemic. I would not want to live next to this man either.
Thank you.
But this is where it's important to think about home ownership. Because when you own the property, you can exclusively dictate matters just like this. Noise ordinance, just the attire of, the aesthetic of the property, all of these things which would then be under your domain. But because you don't own the property, the court rules in favor of the defendant. I'm dismissing the plaintiff's claim. That's my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is dismissed.
You need to grow up. That's what your problem is.
Get over it, Josephine.
No,
just be a
you're
better...
just irresponsible.
Relax for
you just
once.
did whatever you could in front of her to make yourself look good.
Okay, guys.
Really?
You've had your day in court. Please follow me.
Thanks, sir.
Ladies first.
Hot mess.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household. This man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Marissa Johnson claims she loaned her mother money for a deposit on an apartment, but she moved in with her boyfriend instead. Lydia Johnson says her daughter is just jealous since she doesn't have a man.
Well, good day, ladies. I have Miss Marissa Johnson as my plaintiff and Miss Lydia Johnson as the defendant. Mother-daughter situation here. Miss Johnson, I see you are suing your mom.
I am, yes.
For $950?
Yes.
Tell me what brings y'all to court today.
I gave my mom a loan for $950 for a security deposit for her apartment. She did not use it for the security deposit, and she did not give me the money back.
Okay. Why was your mom in need of the money? And tell me a little bit more about her situation where she needed to come to you for this help.
Yes, at the time my mom was staying with her boyfriend, and they ended things, and she didn't have a place to stay.
Okay.
Offered her the extra bedroom in my home. She stayed there for a year. She helped me and my family out.
Okay.
When it was her time, she said she found an apartment and she needed help. I loaned her the $950 to help her out with that, but she did not use it for the apartment.
Now, you do say it was a loan, so you expect it to be paid back?
Yes.
Okay, and you have not been paid back as of this time?
Not at all, no.
Okay. Do you have any evidence to show where the loan was communicated to your mom? Or?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Go ahead and
in the details, it does say specifically for a security deposit.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Yes, I do see that you sent your mom electronically $950.
I did, yes.
Okay, that was you. And then I see there's an invoice here. I see this is from you, Ms. Johnson. You spent the $1,000 almost to make this bedroom really nice in your home?
It's in my boyfriend's home.
In your boyfriend's home? Where's your home, ma'am?
Well, that's who I live with now.
I'm confused. Help me.
Okay, Your Honor. This is the exact issue.
Okay.
I loaned her the money with the intent of her getting her own place.
Because that's what she asked for it for.
Correct, and that's why I loaned it to her, no problem. The issue is she did not use that money to get her own apartment. She used that money to set up a bedroom in her boyfriend's apartment. And that's the bedroom that you're viewing, and those documents with the $200 sheets and $100 pillows is for the bedroom in her boyfriend's home.
So she, ma'am, Miss Lydia, you decorated a room in your boyfriend's apartment.
It's a house. It's a 3-bedroom house.
Okay, well, good for you, sis. Okay, in your boyfriend's 3-bedroom home for your daughter and grandchildren to stay at when they visit you at your new man's house?
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, what happened to the deposit on your place?
Well, what happened was when I went to go get my apartment, the landlord had let somebody else rent it. And just told me goodbye, good riddance.
Well,
and I have a copy
of
the text message.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. It says, "Hi, Garrett, I have the security deposit. Can I swing by and drop it off?" He says, "Lydia, I'm so sorry for responding late, but someone else put a deposit down. I wish you luck in your new apartment." You ask him, "Do you have any other rental properties?" And that's the end of the communication.
Exactly. He didn't even answer me.
Yeah, he left you on red. Well, listen, here's my question, Miss Lydia. Why did you not then go and try to find another apartment?
Well, I did look, but it just happened. Well, it wasn't. How could I say it was by chance that my boyfriend called me? So I'm crying really at this point because I'm so upset. You know, because I look forward to moving out. And he says, "Oh, well, you can come stay with me in my house."
Miss Lydia, once you realized that this apartment was not going to happen for whatever reason, why didn't you give the $950 back to your daughter?
Because she was out of town. She had left, and her and her boyfriend had went on a trip.
I sent her that money. I'm sorry, Yana. I sent her that money electronically. She could have resent it back.
There.
Okay.
I was already there. So here's the thing, Miss Lydia. She didn't need to be in town to give you the money or for you to send it back to her because it's all electronic.
That's true.
Well, at least Mama honest. Okay.
She did stipulate that I had to pay her back. But she says, "Oh, well, Mom, I know you..."
Did she say a loan, Miss Lydia, or a gift?
She did not say a loan or a gift. She didn't stipulate. She just said, "Here, Mom, here's $950, and then you can get your place." So... No, Miss Lydia, that ain't true. Because I'm looking at the electronic transfer right here, and it says for security deposit. It says that very plainly on the Well, yeah, that's what it was when she sent it to me. Yes, ma'am.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
Not here to judge what a woman of your, elder stateswomanship does with her time and locale. But I am curious as to, do you have any intention on paying your daughter back?
And later,
I had already paid for the fee, I had already paid for the hotel, and I did not ask him to pay any of that.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with a dispute between Marissa Johnson and her mother, Lydia Johnson, over misused funds from a loan.
What happened to, I want a place of my own, which is what you told your daughter to prompt her to give you the $950 to begin with?
Well, I mean, that's a fact. But again,
Your Honor, might I add, she's been with her new man for 3 months, so.
I wasn't intending on moving in with him. It was just that it happened like that. He offered it in the time of my need.
In the time of your need, and indeed he did. Okay, so this is more of the same. Okay, I guess here's the question, Miss Lydia. Again, I'm not here to judge what a woman of your, elder stateswomanship does with her time and locale. But I am curious as to, do you have any intention on paying your daughter back the $950? Or now are you disputing that it was ever a loan?
Well, I am disputing the fact that it was ever a loan because she didn't stipulate that. She just said, here, Mom, here's $950.
So you thought it was a gift?
But she could, I think, in my opinion, I believe that she could have came to me and said, well, Mom, we can work this out before bringing me to court.
Your Honor, I wasn't given that option. That's the issue. She had just moved out of my home and did not tell me that she was now living with her boyfriend.
How did you find this out?
When she came over a week or later, she says, oh, I'd like you to see the bedroom that I set up for you and the kids. I said, okay, well, how's the rest of the place?
And you're thinking that she's talking about her new apartment?
Exactly. I'm thinking there's an additional room for my children in her new apartment. Come to find out, this is a bedroom in her boyfriend's apartment that she's been dating for 3 months. She never explained to me that she never used the money for the deposit. I then learned that that money was used for ridiculously expensive sheets and bedding. It just makes no sense to me.
But here's my question to you, Ms. Johnson. Well, your mom does have at one point, I don't love to see mother-daughter scenarios in my courtroom. Why not try to work it out at home?
I wasn't given the option to, and my mom just doesn't seem to have any intentions on paying me the money back when I gave it to her initially as a security deposit.
Well, let's find out. Do you have any intention on paying your daughter back, Miss Lydia?
That's not true, because when I got paid, I had extra money to pay her back. But at this point, she blew up on me. She was saying, well, you're never able to keep a man.
Oh, wait, what did she say?
I did say that, I did.
What'd she say, Miss Lydia? Dang,
well, it kind of stems back from when she was growing up. Her father didn't want any part in her life.
And you think she blames you for that?
She's still a little angry about that. And then
do you think she blames you for that, Miss Lydia?
Yes.
Do you blame your mom for that?
I do not, Your Honor. I blame my mother for her lack of independence. That's what I blame her for. And I tried to help her gain independency, and she rejected that notion and spent the money the way that she wanted to, and that's why I'm upset. No other reason.
What you say about that, Miss Lydia?
That's just her opinion, and she's entitled to that.
That is an accurate observation.
One thing about Miss Lydia is she gonna call it like she see it. Let me ask you this, Miss Johnson. Had your mother used the $950 for her own security deposit, would we be in court today? Meaning, would you still expect to be paid back?
Yes, I would expect the deposit back when she moved out of that place. If she had left it in great condition, the money would be returned. That's another reason why I had no issue, because I assumed the money would be returned.
Because it's a refundable security deposit.
Yes.
Miss Lydia?
But if I stayed in the apartment till I died, that would be quite
Miss Lydia.
She stays with unrealistic situations.
Well, let's not talk about you dying, Miss Lydia. That would be very sad. And actually, even in that untimely circumstance, the money would still probably go back to revert back to her. Yeah. So here's what the court is prepared to do, ladies. Thank you for your testimony. Here's what I'm going to do. I don't believe that your daughter should be talking to you about you and your man's situation, period, Miss Johnson. You out of order, okay? And we have to let grown women, even the ones we love and adore, and even though we think they're making bad choices,
exactly.
We got to let them just be grown and continue to navigate on their terms.
Yeah.
Now, that said, Miss Lydia, $950 is $950. It was a loan. The court determines, you know, because it says security deposit, which implies that a refund is coming at some point. So the fact that to me, it's irrelevant, actually. I want to say to both of you, I really don't care that you didn't move into the apartment as planned and that you spent it on these ridiculous thread count Egyptian sheets. The money is the money is the money is the money. The money was always lent to you with the expectation of return payment, no matter really what you did with it. And so while Ms. Johnson is staking her claim in the fact that you didn't do what you were supposed to do with the funds, the court is not going to consider that. But the court is going to consider that you received $950 as a loan and you've not yet to return it. So the court rules in favor of the plaintiff to the tune of $950.
Thank you.
That's my ruling. Thank you, ladies.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $950.
I love you, and I hate that we had to go to this point, but I am happy to have my money back. And hopefully my mom as well.
Well, I'm still there for you, and I love you too, but we could have did this differently.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
The medicine is not allowed on the track.
No, you just told me the rules. It was only water and the clothes on your back.
And I begged him not to take it. I begged him to hide it, not to let anyone know that he had it.
This is Equal Justice. Mitch Rollins claims his friend had a hangover and ruined their chances of winning a survivalist competition. Kevin Dillard says Mr. Rollins pushed drinks on him the night before, so it's not his fault they were disqualified.
I've got Mitch Rollins here as my plaintiff, Kevin Dillard as my defendant. Mr. Rollins, I see you are suing the defendant for $813.68. Exactly what brings you to court today?
Well, I'm here today because my ex-friend, Kevin, was asked to join a competition with me. He wasn't the first person that I had asked. I had asked my brother, but he has kids and he wasn't able to come. So the sum of the competitions, what we would have won, if we had won, would have been $5,000.
Oh,
we were going to split this. I had already paid for the fee, I had already paid for the hotel, and I did not ask him to pay any of that. We did split gas money, however. We made it to Lake Tahoe from San Francisco after about a 5-hour drive.
Okay.
We pulled in at 9:30 p.m. And we went down to a bar afterwards. I went first at 10 o'clock, about 10 o'clock.
Okay.
And I was hungry.
So the competition had not started yet?
Competition had not started,
It
no.
starts the next morning?
Sure does.
Okay.
Starts at 5 a.m. the next morning. So, exactly. So we had gone to the bar. I was going to get some fuel. We were going to do a 15-mile hike the next day.
Yeah.
So I needed to get my body ready. I had a beer while I was there, and I met these two gentlemen that were also doing the Tahoe Tough competition.
Okay.
What's
it called?
Tahoe Tough.
I'm not familiar with Tahoe Tough, so tell me, what types of obstacles or challenges were you guys going to have to succeed in order to win?
So essentially, it's a 24-hour competition, 5 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Okay.
And we would start at one checkpoint, and then we would end at the 4th checkpoint.
Okay.
It's a survivalist competition, so we were not allowed to bring anything besides water and the clothes on our back. So we had to fish for our own food. We just had to make do.
Got it.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
Okay, so how'd it go?
So 4 a.m. rolls around, I'm spry. I'm still feeling good from the night before.
You're probably still drunk. Okay,
I sure was.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Mitch Rollins, who blames Kevin Dillard for getting them disqualified from a survivalist contest.
So you're at the bar.
We're at the bar. We had more drinks than probably was necessary.
But both of you were partaking in the beers?
Correct.
Okay. How many beers did you have?
I had 2, and then we had 4 shots of whiskey.
And I, personally, had informed him leading up to the bar that I didn't really want to drink. I was only interested in the food at the bar.
Okay.
But he persisted in getting a bit competitive with the other competitors, and so those beers turned into shots of whiskey in which
But did you partake as well?
I did, yes.
Okay, so how'd it go?
So 4 a.m. rolls around, I'm spry. I'm still feeling good from the night before.
You're probably still drunk. Okay,
I
go ahead.
sure was.
Uh-huh.
And the start point was within walking distance.
Okay.
We make it to the start. He is moving very slowly. He didn't want to get out of bed. He was complaining the whole time. As we're coming up to the 2nd checkpoint, I see him pull out an aspirin that he had had at the hotel. The medicine is not allowed on the track.
No, you just told me the rules. It was
Amen.
only water and the clothes on your back.
And I begged him not to take it. I begged him to hide it, not to let anyone know that he had it. He had left the Advil at the second campsite, I think maliciously.
Well, we'll get Mr. Dillon's part in a second.
Sure.
So somebody found it.
They found it. They
And
found it.
you guys were disqualified.
We were disqualified.
Okay. What do you say about that, Mr. Dillard?
I had a pounding headache, and I was hungover.
You were hungover?
Exactly like you could believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was.
Okay.
And so I took an Advil.
This is in the morning?
Yes.
Before you start?
Yeah.
So that was okay?
Yeah. That was fine.
Okay, so why did you even take the Advil with you, sir? Because you know you're not supposed to have no Advil on this 24-hour journey.
Yeah, so I brought it because...
Because you wanted to cheat?
No. So I brought it because once I had taken it and once we were getting ready to leave, it was the last thing I grabbed on the way out because I knew that there was no way I was going to be able to get through the day without
So
it.
you wanted to cheat?
Judge Eboni's verdict when equal justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
I believe that the moment that you walked out that hotel room, sir, with that Advil bottle, you sabotaged the competition. Now, I do agree that he would have been all too willing to win with that cheating. But that's not what happened. So therefore, it is your actions alone. You drank too much. You knew you couldn't hang. You got y'all caught because not only did you cheat, sir, you didn't cheat well, you didn't exercise discretion, y'all got caught and he lost his full investment. I'm gonna ask that you pay that man for his time and his money. The court rules in favor of the plaintiff for the full amount, $813.68. So next time you agree to go in and go all in. That's my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $813.68.
Any final thoughts for each other?
Still feel like he sabotaged us.
Pay up.
Okay. You've had your day in court. Please follow me.
Thank you.
If you grab your folder there, sir. Thank you.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what Equal Justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Josephine Tyler claims her new neighbor was so noisy that she had no choice but to move out so she could get some peace. Carl Blunder says he tried to be a good neighbor, but all Miss Tyler did was complain.
Well, good afternoon. I see Josephine Tyler here as my plaintiff.
Yes.
Carl Blunder as the defendant. Mr. Blunder, I see you've got a witness with you, Mr. Jeffrey Reese. Okay, he's been sworn in, Elijah?
He has been sworn in, Your Honor.
Excellent. Okay, Ms. Tyler, it looks like you're suing for $4,800. You're saying that this man was your neighbor and he was too noisy and forced you to move. So tell us exactly why you're in court today.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I moved into a quiet neighborhood because I like quiet, and I had been teaching, but I lost my job during the pandemic. So I started an online teaching in my apartment. And everything was fine when until this Carl moved in, and then I had to move out. I mean,
Okay. So give me some more background here, Ms. Tyler. So how long had you lived in your apartment before the defendant moved in?
I lived there for 3 years, and I had a really nice neighbor, Barbara. She was elderly, but we were friends.
So that Barbara lived in this unit before Carl moved in?
Yes, it's a duplex. And she was so sweet and quiet. She would like knit and read, and she slept a lot. But we did favors for each other, so I really liked her.
So that was a good situation. And I noticed you said duplex, Ms. Tyler, so you two share a wall?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So it's really important that the neighbor is quiet.
Got it. And you're saying during the pandemic, as many of us had to pivot and figure out how to still have an income, you smartly chose to launch your educational offerings online?
Yeah, so I work from home.
Got it.
So now it's even more important
that you have quiet.
Exactly. So you get it. You really get it.
No,
Thank you.
yeah, I do. But
Thank you.
Tell me a bit about the types of noise you're saying that the defendant caused.
Well, if I could just say about Barbara,
We're going to go back to Barbara. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
what happened? Where's Barbara?
She
passed
unfortunately,
on?
yeah, she. Yes, she passed away, and I had to be there when my landlord found out about it. For me, it was really dramatic. And so that was.
Oh, this is the landlord. That's the witness. Okay,
Jeffrey.
That's what Mr. Reese is.
Yes.
Okay.
So. So that was like a whole change for me, losing Barbara and not having that friendship, that neighbor that I really cared about, and we lived well, like together in the duplex. It also was horrific to just, walk in there. I don't know. So I.
So you found the body? Is that what you're telling me?
I went in with. Yes, I had to.
No.
There was a smell. There was just. Disgusting smell, and I haven't heard from her.
So this is a really bad scenario. Okay, so may Miss Barbara rest in peace. She's gone on to glory.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sweet lady.
Okay, she's upset. Yeah, go ahead.
And
go ahead, ma'am. Yeah.
And then.
And I am sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Thank you. And so. I don't know, I was just dealing with that, and then within 2 weeks, he had the apartment ready to rent, and then Carl moved in, and my life was literally like turned upside down. Like, life as I knew it was over.
Was over. And tell me again, the types of, I want to understand, Ms. Tyler, what were you hearing that was so disruptive?
Okay, well, let me just say that I'm a reasonable person. You can see that, right? Like I'm.
Well, the jury's still out, but we'll find out.
Okay, but I'm, I try to be professional. I mean, when he moved in, I came over with a fruit basket. Just, I wanted to make a connection.
Neighborly thing to do.
Right, and he seemed kind of rude, kind of loud. And to my surprise, he had 2 large dogs. I mean, they're huge. And then a parrot, which was on his shoulder, which was squawking really, really loud. So I just basically mentioned that I work from home and I needed quiet, and he seemed to comply. It wasn't going to be a problem, and that's how the whole thing started.
Okay. Let me hear from the defendant here. Mr. Blunder, let me know, how accurate is this picture that the plaintiff is painting?
Well, let me start, Your Honor, by saying that I moved to Stamford from Upper Manhattan.
Okay.
And my apartment there was not satisfactory. It was very small, and for the rent that I was paying, it just wasn't a good...
New York City for you.
Right.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a good situation for me and my pets. In fact, for the bailiff, I have a few photos of them for you, Your Honor, just to see what we're talking about.
Thank you.
It's 2 2-year-old German Shepherds and then a 5-year-old blue and gold macaw.
Oh, beautiful. This is the parrot?
Yes.
Okay. Beautiful bird. I see these 2 pups. Okay, but you said they're how old?
They're 2 years old now.
Okay, and how much do they weigh apiece?
Oh, gosh. Sometimes they feel like 50 pounds. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay,
I'm so
but
sorry.
they're not 5 pounds. Okay.
No. Coming up on Equal Justice.
Singing, trying to.
I'm just learning.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Josephine Tyler, who blames neighbor Carl Blunder for ruining her peace and quiet.
All right, and now I see that there's some emails in here for my review.
Yes. There are, in fact, some emails. These are the emails that I received from Josephine while I was living there, detailing the complaints that she had with me. I moved into the duplex,
Hold on, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you. I moved into the duplex after I'd come to help my cousin, Robert, move into Stanford's house.
Okay.
And I just fell in love with the place. It was the amount of space that I needed. It let me live in a nice city where I could still have a nightlife, but also there was enough space for my animals. It had a nice backyard, two-story duplex, everything I could want.
Okay, let me see these emails here. So this is from the plaintiff here. She says, "Hi, Carl. You've been making noise ever since you moved in here. I can hear you playing guitar, singing, your dog's barking, and parrot talking." Does the bird talk, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Ma'am, let me review the evidence. I will get back to you. Okay. I can hear your loud TV and your fire alarm going off. I am emailing you to ask if you could please keep the noise level to a minimum. I have lived here for many years and have not had any trouble with the other tenant. Thank you. Signed, Josephine Tyler. Now let's see your response. You say, "I am so sorry to hear that you're having a rough time. I leave the windows open for my pet so they can have fresh air. I'll stop the terrible singing and I won't play guitar after hours. Thank you." Did you adhere to that?
As best as I could, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. He didn't adhere to that. That's the problem. If he had, then maybe we could have.
Maybe we wouldn't be here today.
Maybe we wouldn't be.
Okay.
But
hours run reasonable.
I actually.
At this point, I want to hear from this witness. Sir, please approach. You said he was sworn in, Elijah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, Mr. Jeffrey Reese, you are the landlord of this property?
That's correct, Your Honor. Jeffrey Reese, landlord, and also owner of the duplex.
You own, that's what I wanted to get clear. Thank you, sir. So you actually own the property, and you are leasing to both of these tenants?
Yes, Your Honor. Formerly to Josephine and presently to Carl.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you say formally, the court is concluding that Ms. Josephine has moved out at this point?
Well, thank goodness she has moved on, Your Honor.
Okay. So I've got one question for you, Mr. Reese, and this is really the important one. Per the local ordinance around the decibel, were you guys coming in below or above the local ordinance?
Your Honor, I'm going to go ahead and say we were right in the middle of the
Okay.
local ordinance. Neither one. Right in the middle, which to me is perfectly fine.
Reasonable. So you determined as the property owner, ma'am, you determined as the property owner that the decibel was reasonable.
Yes, I did, Your Honor. Yes, I did.
I have one more question for you, and then I'm going to get to you, ma'am, Ms. Tyler. When you vetted, because as all property owners do, before we rent or lease our properties, which are investments, those are assets, American dream type of thing, you've got to vet each tenant carefully, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when you met with Mr. Blunder here, you knew he had 2 dogs, you knew he had the parrot, you knew he played the guitar. Did you have any concerns around the quiet enjoyment of the other tenants' use of the property?
Not at all, Your Honor. That's a perfect point, and it is.
Well, I tend to make those. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Your Honor. And that tenant is in the lease to comply with all noise ordinances.
Correct.
Stated specifically.
Yeah, and you felt comfortable around that?
Yes, I did.
His ability to do that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so now let's get back to you, Ms. Tyler.
Thank you, Your Honor. What he's saying is false. I mean, I actually have a noise log of everything that happened because it was that upsetting to me. His team.
Go ahead and give that to my bailiff, ma'am, so the court can consider it.
And what he's saying about, I don't know what he's talking about, meter or something. I actually recorded the sounds because it was just so loud, day and night and day. There was no peace.
Very impeccable with your recording skills here, Ms. Tyler. Not a woman to overlook the details, I see.
Well,
I mean, this is down to, no kidding. This is down to the minute and the second. Okay, so you said to me that you've got a recording?
Yes, I submitted it to the bailiff
hear. Yeah, because we're kind of talking abstractly. I want to hear it.
Okay. Singing, trying to.
I'm just learning.
Okay, well, now that was a little bit loud. That was a little bit loud there, Mr. Blunder. What do you have to say for yourself?
I will say, in the emails you have over there regarding the volume, I understand that some of those were very loud, and full credit. I also understand that she works as a teacher and that she needs...
From home.
From home.
Right.
And I get it. The pandemic wreaked havoc on all of us.
Correct.
When she let me know that the volume wasn't up to her standards, I stopped.
So
That's
you're
not
saying,
true.
yep,
I'm sorry.
Point of clarification from the defendant. Are you telling the court that what we heard is representative of your volume originally, and you're saying that it was turned down after the email request from the plaintiff? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
These dogs are barking all day long, and the parrot, and the breaking point was the alarm going off for like 10 minutes straight, alarm going off.
Okay.
And I didn't know if the building was going to burn down. I just didn't know what to do, so I called the fire department.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Josephine Tyler, who blames neighbor Carl Blunder for ruining her peace and quiet.
Miss Tyler?
That's not true. That's false. He went to work, left the windows open so I could hear the parrot.
Well, he explained the windows open, ma'am. You can't expect the animals to be stuffed in a unit.
These dogs are barking all day long, and the parrot, and the breaking point was the alarm going off for like 10 minutes straight, alarm going off.
Okay.
And I didn't know if the building was going to burn down. I just didn't know what to do, so I called the fire department.
I was in the shower. I had to run out in my shower towel and deal with the fire department in front of the whole neighborhood. It was humiliating.
What? Yeah, I ran out there, and Carl was insulting me. Just totally insulting me, verbally attacking me.
Okay, hold on, ma'am. Let's ease it with the dramatics. Okay, go ahead, sir.
She'd been harassing me forever. The entire time I'd been living there, even after I reconciled with her about the sound and I did my best to turn things down. Still, with the emails and the complaints and the logs and dealing with everything. And finally, after that fire department fiasco...
You lost your cool. Okay,
yes.
I got it. Okay. And I do see that the defendant's witness is nodding in agreement to the frequency of Ms. Tyler's complaint.
I'm in total agreement, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Ms. Tyler, let me get to this. At some point, you say, no more. I can't work like this. I can't live like this. You leave the unit.
I had to. I had no choice. I mean,
tell me why you say you had no choice.
Because it's my serenity. It's my peace of mind. I wasn't sleeping at night.
Okay.
When I'm trying to teach, these sounds going off, he was making drilling.
So you broke your lease, ma'am?
I had to keep teaching, and I lost my deposit.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
You did break the lease, ma'am.
I did, but I reached out to both of them, and I was back and forth to Jeffrey, to Carl, and it was back and forth, and neither one was helping.
No answer would have satisfied you.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Josephine Tyler, who blames neighbor Carl Blunder for ruining her peace and quiet.
That's what I was going to say. How do we get to $4,800?
Well, that was my deposit, which was 2 months rent.
Rent, okay.
So that's a lot of money for a teacher.
And where do you live now?
And I moved to the next town.
Oh, so you live in a whole new town?
Yeah, I didn't want to.
And do you like your new residence, ma'am?
I do.
It's comfortable?
I do,
it's
but
quiet?
I'm paying more than I wanted to. I would have loved to stay in the duplex.
Okay.
That was perfect for me.
Right.
And so I feel like he owes me that money because it's his fault that I moved.
I didn't affect the...
What? So you're saying that you had to pay $2,400 first month rent and deposit. That's standard. And let me get to you, Mr. Landlord, Mr. Reese here. You did not return that first month rent and deposit because she broke the lease early. Is that correct?
Respectfully, no way, Your Honor. No way I'm going to return that.
Right. Okay. How short was she on the lease, sir?
I don't recall exactly, but I did.
But it was before it was up.
Yes, ma'am. It was most definitely before it was up.
And you concede the point that you did break the lease, ma'am.
I did, but I reached out to both of them, and I was back and forth to Jeffrey, to Carl, and it was back and forth, and neither one was helping.
No answer would have satisfied you.
Mr. Blunder. So, Ms. Tyler, the defendant says he kept the noise quieter. You're disputing that. You're saying it was still as loud as we heard in court today, and that was indeed loud. And so you make the decision, as is your right as an adult, to break this lease, vacate the premises early, and find comfortable accommodations.
That's all I could do.
Okay. I think the court has heard enough, and I'm ready to make a ruling.
Judge Eboni's verdict when Equal Justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
Mr. Blunder, I don't think I'd want to be your neighbor. Sounds like you got a lot going on. You got a bunch of animals. You got a parrot. You're playing the guitar. You're trying to learn how to sing. Sounds like it's a hot mess. But guess what? Because if your landlord, the actual owner of the property, finds your behavior reasonable, that is really the only controlling factor that the court must concern itself with. So the fact that you brought a witness in today that is both the owner of the property and the property manager, and this man is telling my courtroom that he finds your behavior reasonable, the court has to be consistent with that. So here's the thing, Ms. Tyler, I hear you. I appreciate your position. I understand being a business owner, being a woman who's trying to make it post-pandemic. I would not want to live next to this man either.
Thank you.
But this is where it's important to think about home ownership. Because when you own the property, you can exclusively dictate matters just like this. Noise ordinance, just the attire of, the aesthetic of the property, all of these things which would then be under your domain. But because you don't own the property, the court rules in favor of the defendant. I am dismissing the plaintiff's claim. That's my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is dismissed.
You need to grow up. That's what your problem is.
Get over it, Josephine.
No,
just be a
you're
better.
just irresponsible.
Relax for
you just
once.
did whatever you could in front of her to make yourself look good.
Okay, guys.
Really.
You've had your day in court. Please follow me.
Thanks, sir.
Ladies first.
Hot mess.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Delia Chin claims her former tenant damaged the bathroom pipes when he cleared a clog. Emmett Carson says he had to take care of it himself after he waited a month for a plumber. Mr. Carson is countersuing for $900.
Okay, I see I have Delia Chin here as my plaintiff. Ms. Chin, you are suing for $2,145. Emmett Carson as my defendant. Mr. Carson, I see you have a countersuit here for $900. Ms. Chin, why are we in court today?
So, Mr. Carson was my tenant, my short-term tenant, and he had a clogged shower drain, and I took a lot of measures to get it fixed. There were certain things that happened, a holiday, a storm, which prevented anyone from getting through the city, and he took it upon himself to put a drain dissolve down the pipe, which caused the pipe to dissolve and cause a lot of water damage. We had to get an emergency plumber to come in. There was plaster that had to be replaced. There was so much damage. I was able to get an emergency plumber in that day within a few hours after he called me to shut off the water, and he came back the next day to fix the damage. But under no conditions was he ever supposed to handle this himself. We were in constant communication, and I had no idea that he would do such a thing to cause so much damage to my property.
Woo, that is quite a hefty allegation there. Mr. Carson, what do you have to say for yourself, sir?
Your Honor, all I will say is that I didn't cause any damage. I just awoken the damage that was already there. The drains were very old. Yes. The drains were very old, and I just used the over-the-counter drain cleaner that my castmates have used and all of America has used. And all I did was use that, and all it showed was that she did not properly replace the pipes like she was supposed to. We finally got a plumber to come in, and the plumber that came in said the plumber beforehand didn't do a good job with cleaning the pipes and everything. So that is why the cause of it. I was just, you know, the unlucky tenant at the time to have to experience this. And I do have a plethora of evidence as well. I have pictures and I have videos as well to show the emotional damage that I went through with those drains.
When you said castmates earlier, Mr. Carson, could it be that you were in the theater?
Yes.
Okay. Something was giving me a flair for the dramatics.
Yes.
Okay, why don't you give this plethora of evidence to my bailiff here, sir, so I can take a look.
Thank you.
Let me just have your entire folder, please.
Here you go.
Thank you, sir.
Here's the plethora.
There's the plethora. Okay. Okay,
I also have video evidence as well.
Okay, that hence more plethora. Okay. All right, let's see here for the plasma some of this evidence so we could get a visual as to what we're looking at here.
So as you can see, it's the cracked ceilings right there. You're gonna show the bowls that I had to use, and I don't have many dishes and everything, so I had to use my only dishes. That's my friend indicating some stuff right there for me and everything, you know?
And where was that?
This was in my bedroom. So it's basically downstairs is going to be my bedroom and the kitchen, and then upstairs is going to be the bathroom, as well as like another living area that I just kind of use as a practice room.
So that water was coming from that bathroom down to your bedroom.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. What do you have to say about that, Ms. Chin? That is a horrific living situation, yes?
It was horrible, yes. What he said earlier about the plumber saying the pipes weren't fixed properly might be true. I'm not a plumber, but the plumber also said that the drain dissolve did partially cause the damage.
Okay. There are some more photos. We can see some of the photo damage here. Okay, so that's the plaster you were talking about, Ms. Chin?
Correct.
Okay. So this has since been replastered?
Correct.
Okay. Wow. Oh my God. What a mess.
I'm just thankful my bed wasn't there. I don't know what could have happened.
I don't know that any of us would have survived it.
Exactly.
I don't know. No, but this is, in all seriousness, this is some pretty dangerous stuff. You would agree, Ms. Chin?
Correct, I do.
Okay. Let's look at this lease agreement. This is between the two of you. Short-term lease, 1 year, for $900 a month rent. So that's your countersuit amount, Mr. Carson?
Yes, because I decided to move away immediately and I wanted my money back.
I do see a string of emails here from you to Ms. Chin. Okay, so now we're a month out, Ms. Chin, just to know. That's a month from the original disaster.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
I knew that we had a scheduled appointment with the plumber to come.
Which was for when?
Which was for the 20th.
Okay.
Which I understand is late, but
that's a month late.
And later,
I agreed to do that because I care.
You love her.
I care. Yes. Yes.
That was what we call begrudgingly. Okay.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Delia Chin, who blames former tenant Emmett Carson for damaged bathroom pipes.
I was told by the plumber that you had used drain dissolver to cause this whole mess. I'm sending you the bill.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so
I had no idea when he put the drain dissolve down. I knew that we had a scheduled appointment with the plumber to come.
Which was for when, ma'am?
Which was for the 20th.
Okay.
Which I understand is late, but
that's a month late. Okay. I understand your frustration. I'm frustrated too. This is for Mr. Carson. I dealt with the drain for over a month with no help. You are at fault here. I'm showering in my own filth. Oh, okay. This was not my fault. Everything you asked of me, you are to blame. I already paid my rent for the month. I will be vacating the premises. So you have found a new place to live, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So you've paid for these repairs already, Ms. Chin?
Correct.
So your home is recovered. And do you have a tenant in your unit?
I do.
And you believe that Mr. Carson here should pay the full $2,145?
I do. My plumber told me it
and
was
do you
a
have,
drain
let me see
dissolve.
your receipts, Ms. Chin. Okay, weekend emergency fee, hazardous waste removal. So you spent $3,045. Why are you only suing for $2,145?
I have his security deposit, which was $900.
Oh, you kept his security deposit. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Why did you do a thing like that?
The security deposit is there for damage that is caused by the tenant.
I don't think that the court has decided that it was caused by the tenant yet, ma'am. Because at this point, there's an argument at least to be made, which is why y'all are in my courtroom today, that you contributed to the cause of your own home damage by an unreasonable delay in getting a professional out to handle this. This is your house, correct?
It is. It's one of my rental properties.
One of your, and how many rental properties do you have, Ms. Chen?
I have 3.
And has anything like this ever happened to you before?
No.
Okay. And you normally manage all of your own properties yourself?
I manage them, but I have contractors and people that will do the work.
Yes,
I don't do the work.
but you are the general property manager. How do you feel about her keeping your security deposit, sir?
Not good.
now
Not good
you
at
want to be
all, no.
succinct? Not good?
You know, no, I'm not too happy about losing out on $900. No.
Yeah. I don't know about that, Ms. Chen. I actually, when I first started reading the facts of this case, I was inclined to rule in your favor, to be candid with you, because I do believe that in theory, a tenant who is not the owner of the home has no business doing anything by virtue of self-repair because it's not your property, sir, right? That would be the argument. However, the more and more I learn about this case, this email chain, quite frankly, I think is the smoking gun here, Ms. Chen. I don't feel that you're putting forth a reasonable good faith effort for a speedy repair. Well, how would you like washing in over an inch of dirty, nasty, filthy water for a month?
I understand. It's disgusting. I also understand that there were things that were out of my control.
Thank you.
The holiday and the storm.
Yeah, the holiday and the storm, though, Ms. Chen, you are accommodating for, that's a 2-week delay.
Yeah,
that's a 2-week delay.
And I got him out there after those 2 weeks. The handyman was there after those 2 weeks.
Okay, this is how the court finds on this. I'm ready to rule. I think that the attitude from you, Ms. Chen, is a little too cavalier for me. It's a little too lackadaisical. I believe that you have prioritized your busyness and your time over Mr. Carson's. I think when you tell this court, well, my handyman's going to be there it's already late, right, on this date that is over 2 weeks after you first alerted. See, he did his duty. He alerted you the minute he recognized the problem. Now, had he not done that, I would be feeling totally differently about this case. Had he caused an undue delay by delaying his informing and notice to you about your property, that's a different story. Then the burden becomes on him. But he did the one thing he was supposed to do. He let the property owner know immediately there was a problem. All of this delay and the holidays and the storm, and I understand the storm is an act of God, which the court will not hold you responsible for. But after that, Ms. Chen, if it's my house and I'm also a property owner, baby, I'm calling every plumber within a 20-mile radius to get someone to fix that. Because as a property owner, Ms. Chen, we know the severity of a plumbing issue. Anything could have happened.
I do understand.
Well, you didn't act like it. Your actions didn't show me that you understood.
I got the plumber there.
Therefore, Ms. Chen, you have to eat the entirety of this amount. So much so that I'm dismissing your claim, Madam Plaintiff, and I am finding for the countersuit. I believe that you are owed back your security deposit. I believe that you had no business using no liquid Drano in this lady's house. However, due to the overwhelming delay of effort to fix the matter on the landlord's part, I believe that you did not cause this damage by yourself. The court rules in favor of the defendant's countersuit to $900. That's my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff is ordered to pay $900.
Any final words for each other?
I have money. I'm okay. $900. We're good.
I have money too. It's a matter of principle. You caused the damage.
Okay, you've had your day in court. Please grab your belongings and follow me.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
You are asking me for $700? What kind of man
are you? Actually, ma'am, $707.35.
Without the tip.
Without the tip. Okay, right. Because
he didn't leave a tip.
This is Equal Justice. Thomas Pierre claims his ex-girlfriend dumped him after she duped him into paying for an expensive business dinner. Sophia Blank says Mr. Pierre drank too much and mouthed off, so she lost out on a potential job.
I see I've got Thomas Pierre here as my plaintiff and Miss Sophia Blanc as my defendant. Mr. Pierre, I see you are suing this lady for $707.35. Tell me why you're in court today.
I just want Sophia to pay me back what she owes me because she asked me to pay for a dinner. It was a business meeting for her to find a new job. She wanted to invite partners of the company to be hired. We were in the relationship for 4 years.
Oh, so this was a very serious, very long-term serious girlfriend for 4 years. So you're willing to do this for her?
Yes. I agreed to do that because I care.
You love her.
I care. Yes. Yes, of course.
That was what we call begrudgingly. Okay. But
yes,
you say yes generously to support. Okay, great. So where did it all go wrong, sir?
I don't know what happened. She refused after the dinner. She refused. She was angry and.
She refuses to pay you back?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Stand by, sir. Ma'am, this is definitely not sounding like a complete story. Ms. Blanc, why are we in court today?
So this man was exactly my boyfriend for 4 years. I thought he was a perfect man. You know, we met at a party, and it was a great first year. So he knew that this job would bring me more money. So of course he got an interest to help me. And now you are asking me for $700? What kind of man are you?
Actually, ma'am, $707.35.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
I just tried to make her understand that she just have to behave.
I knew he was gonna say that word. I knew. Did y'all? I knew it.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Thomas Pierre, who is fighting with Sophia Blank over who should pay for a pricey dinner.
But now we still got the matter of the dinner, ma'am. Did the dinner happen?
The dinner happened, yes.
The dinner was successful?
The dinner was nearly successful until he ruined everything because he was jealous, probably drunk. I don't know how much glasses you've had. It was a good bottle, but you drank it all. So
Okay, so you're saying, ma'am, hold on, sir, let me get to the bottom here. He's saying that he did front you this money per your agreement. Did you agree to pay him back? Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Originally, I agreed to pay him back, but...
Okay. So why did you, sir? No more of that. So he says that the dinner was to help you get this great new job. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Were you successful in that?
No, he ruined everything.
Okay, so you did not get that job?
Because of him, no.
Because of him. And you saying that's because he was belligerent and drunk?
He was drunk, I'm sure of that. And he didn't like how I laughed at their jokes.
Okay, so he thought you were flirting?
He thought I was flirting, correct, yes.
Okay, is that true, sir?
She was flirting with them.
She was flirting?
Yes.
Ma'am, were you flirting?
No, and he's a macho man. He even said at the dinner that I should know my place as a woman. Oh. So I got nervous, I got angry.
Is that true, sir? Do you kind of believe women have a place and it's to be seen and not heard?
It's not exactly what I
said. Sir, I can't understand.
I'm sorry.
I can't, and I was understanding just fine until this moment. Yeah. What was that? Do you believe that women should be seen and not heard, sir?
I just tried to make her understand that she just have to behave.
I knew he was gonna say that word. I knew. Did y'all? I knew it. I said you were gonna try to make her behave, right? Do you still love her?
I care for her, yes.
Okay. Even if she doesn't behave, right?
Yes.
Judge Eboni's verdict when Equal Justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
Okay, I do believe the court is ready to make a ruling here. Here's the situation. This man brought a claim to court, essentially a breach of contract, that you two had a meeting of the minds where he agreed to lend you the $707.35 for a professional work dinner, and you also agreed to pay him back. However, the court also recognizes that the spirit of the agreement is important, and the spirit of the agreement was to pay for this dinner so that she could advance her professional positioning. Now, if you come into this dinner, sir, ranting and raving and acting like a misogynist and having all this bravado and machismo energy that she's to behave and she's out of order, that's not going to do anything to advance her professional demeanor. You understand this? I hope that you do. So therefore, this court rules that although there was an agreement made, there was also a breach of said agreement, and it was not by her, sir, it was by you. The minute you showed up with this expectation of compliance from this grown adult woman in her work setting, you're out of order. Therefore, the court rules in favor of the defendant. Sir, I am dismissing your claim of $707.35 completely. Plaintiff's claim is dismissed. That's my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is dismissed.
Any final thoughts?
Seriously.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You've had your day in court. Let's let ladies go first.
Sorry.
Behave now.
There you go, sir.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Marcus Hill claims he was stuck with travel expenses after his girlfriend dumped him and bailed on their trip to Puerto Rico, and says the defendant is to blame. Talia Brooks says she was just doing the job Mr. Hill hired her to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, I see Marcus Hill as my plaintiff and Talia Brooks as my defendant. Mr. Hill, you're suing Ms. Brooks here, I see, for $3,500. Tell me what brings you to court today, sir.
Yes, correct, Your Honor. I'm suing Ms. Brooks because she didn't perform her job. I hired her because I needed a fake girlfriend.
I'm so sorry, you said a fake girlfriend?
Yes.
Keep going. Okay.
The reason is because my family, we do a family reunion every year at the beginning of the year. And my family is very loud, emotional, so I didn't want to scare my new girlfriend that I have been seeing for 1 month.
So that is not Ms. Brooks?
No.
So you do have an actual girlfriend?
Correct.
So what would be the need then for Ms. Brooks to pretend to be your girlfriend if you have an actual lady?
So I hired her to see if my family, how would you react to have this type of girl, like that is not from Italy. Because my family, we are from Italy, but we moved to Nashville.
Okay.
And having a different culture, I wanted to see how my family reacts.
So you wanted a test run?
Correct.
With Ms. Brooks?
Correct.
So is there a similar culture here?
No, there is not a similar culture.
Okay.
My family always told me, just have a new wife, always pushing my dating life.
They want you to hurry up and
yes, and get married and
okay.
Yes, correct.
The grandbabies, okay.
Correct.
So you wanted to protect your actual girlfriend. Is she here today with you in court?
No, Your Honor.
So we just supposed to take your word for it. Okay. Okay. So you have an actual girlfriend, let you tell it, as we say down south. You hired this young lady. How much did you hire her for, sir? How much did you pay her to pretend?
$500.
$500. You have a contract for this?
Yes.
Okay. Give your whole folder, please, to my bailiff, Elijah. Let me review this evidence. Because this is starting to...
I paid her up front and...
Get a little all over the place. Thank you, sir. Okay, so You two had an agreement. I do see here where you sent $500 to Ms. Brooks. So you did receive $500, ma'am?
Yes.
Now, what was your understanding? Let me bring you in here. Maybe you can help bring some clarity, because I'm a bit confused, to be candid with you, ma'am. What was the $500 for? What was your job?
I was to attend the party with him.
The family reunion party?
Yes.
Okay.
Make a good impression, be the good girlfriend, and go along my merry way.
I'm just interested. I am looking, by the way, court, at a service agreement that looks to execute scope of work, what the expectation was. This was 4 hours, very important. Scope of the work, 4 hours, commencing at your arrival of the party and ending 4 hours later. You understood that? Okay. Post-engagement clause to allow for a natural and believable disengagement to prevent abruptness, basically to not blow the cover. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, you both understood that. I see you both have signed here, which show the court that this was properly executed. And you both agreed to this. So there was no problem until there was a problem. When was there a problem, Mr. Hill?
So the problem was that we agreed that she was going to be my partner for the dinner event. But after that, she kept being friendly with my family, so my family added her to the group chat.
You got added to the family group chat, Ms. Brooks?
So...
Not the new boo
yes.
in the family group chat. Well, what is the old boo thinking about all of this? I'm just wondering.
Well, she got mad and she ended up with me. She broke up with me.
She broke up with you?
And also, I lost my trip that I planned to go with her. Puerto Rico.
Which boo?
Daniela.
That's the old boo?
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's the old boo. So you were going to take the old boo on a trip. Where were you going,
To Puerto Rico.
To Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
Lovely. I love Puerto Rico. Have you been to Puerto Rico before?
No.
Oh, you didn't get to go now. That's a shame. It's a very beautiful island.
So I wanted to bring her there, but when she saw the messages that she was sending and sharing with my parents,
yes,
with my family, like kissing and saying, "Tell your grandma your cornbread was good. I had a good wine. Next meal is on me."
That's what Ms. Brooks was saying? New boo?
Yes.
I'm talking to you, new
Yes.
boo. Okay, let's pull up the text exchange of this family chat so we can get a sense as to what the communication was like. I guess this is your mom starting this exchange with her. Marcus, you and Talia are such a beautiful couple.
Yes.
Can't wait to see you at the next family event. Dad cosigns, get ready to see some soccer. Okay. Hey, this is the sister. You have a sister?
Yes.
Okay, we miss you already, and calling her sister. I mean,
This is very personal.
One thing about it, Miss Talia, you did a great job.
I'm good at my job.
She's good at her job. She's a keeper. Everybody enjoyed it.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
What would you have liked Miss Brooks to do different?
You should have just kept things neutral.
I think he's just upset that his family might like me a little bit better than him.
And later.
To stop the cart, I had to turn the wheel, yank the wheel to the side, and the cart was stopped by hitting the wall.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Marcus Hill, who blames Talia Brooks for ruining his relationship and romantic trip.
Let's look at this breakup text we also have here from Old Boo, also known as Daniela. Daniela, okay. She's upset. Marcus, this is not going to work out between us. You say, what are you talking about? I read your family group chat. Who is Talia? Okay, you've been playing me all along. You say, Daniela, that's not it at all. Talia and I are not seeing each other. She says, I can't with your lies. There is nothing more you can say to make me believe. Trust you, rather, I'm done. Bye. Please let me explain. No, delete my number. We are done. And then no communication since.
No communication.
So when you went to get the money for the Puerto Rico trip, what did they tell you?
So the trip was non-refundable.
Ooh, how much money?
$3,500.
$3,500.
Sorry.
$3,000 on the trip, and
Yes,
$500 is what you're in my courtroom for. What is that? Stress?
For my stress.
Oh, certainly stress. Okay.
Yeah, stress from my family and stress from her, especially.
Okay. Have you seen a counselor? Do you have a receipt to show me where you've gotten therapy or something to help with the stress?
No, but I'm going to do it.
Okay. Well, we'll put a note in that. So $3,000 for this grand romantic weekend in Puerto Rico.
Correct.
That she dumped you.
She dumped me.
And obviously is not going.
She's not
And you
going.
had to still come out of pocket for it.
Correct.
So why does she need to pay you for that?
So I think she needs to pay me because the agreement was just for the dinner and not having some sort of communication with my family after the family reunion.
Ms. Talia, when were you added to the group text? How many days after the event or hours?
At the event.
Oh, this happened at the event?
Yes, like towards the end of it.
Okay, like this is important. Was it within the 4 hours?
Yes.
You running into a problem, Mr. Hill. You've got a scope of work here that says 4 hours, she's on. So she's telling this court that she was simply doing her job, doing it quite well, per your own family.
Yes, I'm not saying...
She was convincing, right?
Yes, correct.
You were satisfied with her work.
I'm not saying that she's not a good person or she didn't do her job.
So we ain't talking about whether she's a good person. We're talking about whether or not she's satisfied the terms of y'all's agreement. That's what I care about.
She did satisfy it.
Okay, so you expect this young lady to come out with quite a bit of money to compensate you for what you claim are significant losses. And they are her fault because?
Because she ended up my relationship.
Now, what happened then, Ms. Brooks, to where this didn't go according to plan and that you ended up in the group chat responding and them feeling so connected to you that they really want you to now be the real girlfriend?
I mean, I just did my job the way that I was supposed to. I showed up, I talked to the family, they welcomed me. I'm Puerto Rican, so my family's very loud and very
I was gonna say, it's giving family, sir. Yeah, I don't know that it's giving anything abnormal.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I do my job very well.
Yeah. You're charming. You're charming. You look at Elijah, it's happy, it's good to look at, charming individual, beautiful
Thank you, Your
white
Honor.
teeth.
Thank you.
Look like you work for a living, take care of yourself?
Yes, I'm an actress as well. So this is kind of what I do to kind of keep myself in practice. Obviously, I'm doing a pretty good job.
Very good job. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm going to tell you, Mr. Hill, I'm going to give you a final word here, and I'm going to be ready to make a decision and ruling here. You have not convinced me yet. I'm going to give you a final opportunity. What would you have liked Miss Brooks to do differently?
She should have just kept things neutral.
I'm not seeing that she's not neutral here, sir. Do you have any last words for the court?
I think he's just upset that his family might like me a little bit better than him.
Than him, even? Oh, wow. Shots fired. I don't know that I saw that one coming. Well, I do feel I've heard enough. Thank you both for your evidence and for sharing your sides of the story. I've been really consistent on this point, Mr. Hill. I feel bad for you, sir. You seem like a very nice young man, clean-cut guy. Clearly, you do well for yourself. You had very romantic intentions with your actual girlfriend.
Yes.
And this was supposed to be a lovely thing. I hate that you got dumped. I hate that you didn't get your money back on your non-refundable $3,000 vacation. I hate that you are stressed and upset about this. I really am. But you have not met the elements, the legal elements, which is my job, to hold you accountable for proving the legal elements of breach of contract or intentional, heavy on intentional, infliction of emotional distress. Therefore, the plaintiff's case is dismissed in full, no judgment. That's my verdict.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
Maybe you should have just brought your girl.
Anybody else, sir?
Well, sometimes do better your job. Don't take it too far.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
So I'm looking at this golf cart. I'm seeing some damage here on the bumper. I'm seeing where the bumper was replaced. He had you replace the bumper on his cart.
Yes, he did, for $1,900.
This is Equal Justice. Jenna Rollins claims the defendant rented her a golf cart with faulty brakes. She got into an accident and sprained her wrist. Patrick Solis says the cart was inspected the day before and was in working order.
Ms. Rollins, I see you are suing the defendant for $4,850. What brings you to court today?
Your Honor, I'm suing Mr. Solis for personal injury and damages suffered after he rented me a faulty, busted, broken golf cart on Catalina Island.
Okay. Let's get to you, Mr. Solis. Talk to me about when Ms. Rollins comes in and says she wants to rent a cart for the day.
We were busy that day, so I had gone to my employee, Josh, and I had asked him to pay special attention to her.
Okay.
He went ahead and had her review and sign the contract.
There's agreement, okay.
There was an agreement, definitely.
You've got that with you today in court?
I do.
So give your whole evidence folder, please, to my bailiff. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at this agreement. Now I'm seeing it says all renters agree the rented golf cart must be off all roads designated as bluff roads or scenic overlooks between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Okay, I also see in your evidence that there's this brake functionality test. This is performed frequently and says it passed.
It did.
Okay, so let's come to you now, Ms. Rollins.
Your Honor, the issue was the brakes.
Okay.
I go out on the road and it was a great time until I started going down a hill.
Okay.
I press on the brakes. Well, it's not just soft, the pedal goes all the way down to the floor. The cart does not slow down, the cart does not stop.
Oh God.
To stop the cart, I had to turn the wheel, yank the wheel to the side, and the cart was stopped by hitting the wall.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
Look at the contract. We advise not to go down that road at 6 o'clock.
I don't know that you advise not to. I think you prohibit.
Yes, we do.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with Jenna Rollins, who's fighting with Patrick Solis over a golf cart crash.
Okay, Miss, you referenced some evidence. Go ahead and give your folder to my bailiff so I can see exactly what's going on here. Thank you, ma'am. Now, were you hurt?
I was hurt. I was diagnosed with a sprained wrist.
Oh, man.
For which I also had to pay $450 for treatment.
Okay, so I'm looking at this golf cart. I'm seeing some damage here on the bumper. I'm also looking at an iPad. Do you know what this is referencing, ma'am?
Yes, it was broken in the collision, and for that I included $1,200.
Let's see here. I'm seeing where the bumper was replaced. He had you replace the bumper on his cart?
Yes, he did, for $1,900.
Yes, and you had to pay this per the agreement, right?
Yes, I did. I paid before
you left,
leaving
like when you
Ireland.
turned the car in?
Yes.
Okay, so you did collect this, right, Mr. Solis?
I did collect the $1,900, which is a generous amount because we didn't even charge her for the damage done to the side of the cart.
Okay, so the cart has been repaired at this point.
Correct.
And it's back a part of the fleet of the premier golf cart rental of Catalina Island.
Definitely nice, safe, and sound.
Okay, so you sent one of your employees to go help her when she crashed?
I personally went there.
Oh, you went personally?
I did. So if you look at what time she called me.
Okay, let me look. Go ahead, keep talking.
All right. The accident took place beyond 6 o'clock, and when you look at the contract, we advise not to go down that road at